Paid for by the Tomlinson Campaign, P.O. Box 821, Wetumpka, Alabama, 36092.
Hi there, I'm Madeline Cannon with Alabama Home Mortgage. Getting pre-approved is the first step towards home ownership. People are often scared or nervous about taking that first step, but I'll tell you, it's nothing to be scared of. At Alabama Home Mortgage, we will take the first step and every step along the way with you. Call us at 567-4223. We will gather the information needed to tell you exactly what you qualify for. After a call to Alabama Home Mortgage, you will know what price point to shop for, what down payment is required, if any, and what your monthly mortgage payment will look like. We take all the guessing out of it. Then, when you find the house you want to make your home, you are ready to make an offer. Along with your offer, you will submit your Alabama Home Mortgage pre-approval letter. This shows sellers that you've already taken the steps necessary to ensure that you qualify to purchase their home. Wait no longer. It's time to take that first step together. Call me at 567-4223 or start the process online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
That's Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
You know, they used to say Abraham Lincoln got the worst press. I said, there's no way he got worse than me.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by it. So you know the thing. That's how you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
I'm also very much of a germaphobe, by the way.
If you're going to cough, please.
Hey, listen. I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a fella in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his can.
I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, gift stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. Excuse me, folks, I needed a little bit of a Ric Flair pick-me-up there. Need a little pep in my step, and I'm feeling it now. Eddie Bader is in the studio with me. How you doing today, Eddie?
I'm here, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, no.
I'm here.
You feeling bad?
My body pulled some eviction orders last night on some apparently bad food I had in me, so...
That's no good.
Yeah, I'm a little tired.
That's no good at all.
Dehydrated.
I like your shirt, though. Is that a ninja cat riding a shark?
When Suzanne and I were in Tennessee this weekend with the kids, we found it, and I could not put it down.
Joey, clearly that is a samurai cat.
That's what I'm thinking, samurai
It's a samurai cat.
Yeah.
That is the voice of Rich Anderson, folks. He's a candidate for Court of Criminal Appeals. How you doing this morning or afternoon, Rich?
I'm a little tired too.
Yeah,
I'm right there on the Eddie train there. Very tired.
But you don't have a samurai cat riding a shark shirt.
No, unfortunately.
Now, let's just remind folks who haven't heard past interviews, why you're running for Court of Criminal Appeals, a little bit of your background.
So I have been an appeals prosecutor. I've kind of dedicated my career to that for the last close to 20 years now. And I have seen a lot of the criminal justice system, and particularly the appellate side of it, and what happens when we don't get it right on the Court of Criminal Appeals. So I'm very highly motivated to put my experience and my training and my skills to use on that court to try to get it right for the people of Alabama.
Now, what's some of that experience? Let's go into that, because right now you've been working some pretty serious cases.
Sure, yeah. My appeals experience stretches over 24 years now. I started out on the Alabama Supreme Court working for a justice. Went into private practice briefly, but then for the last, I think I'm in my 18th year now as an assistant attorney general, handling death penalty appeals for the state. And what that means is that I do everything from point of conviction on to point of execution. We were talking before the show about the last basically 2.5 months I've spent neck deep in federal court in the Kenneth Smith case, which was the Alabama's nitrogen hypoxia case. So I was lead counsel for the state in that, and I was very pleased that we got justice done for the Senate family.
Yes.
Absolutely. And, it is interesting. Just sticking on that for a second.
Sure.
I think Craig Munger and I were talking about it, and we talked about it being misplaced compassion.
Right.
And it really is. I guess this is a crucial part of the appeals process, because when was he first convicted? I think he had another trial, right?
Yes, it was back in, I want to say, like 86,
right,
something like that. So it had been a good while, and that's the thing with these death penalty cases. The courts are very careful with it. We talk about misplaced compassion, and I think that's something that the public has a lot. But it's right that the courts are looking hard at death penalty cases, because this is the most serious punishment the state can mete out. We want to be sure to get it right, but it does take a long time, and I think courts have a tendency to lose focus on the victims.
Right. And if you're the one handling such serious cases, folks, I think that speaks to this gentleman's experience quite a bit. But I'm seeing here, then, knowing you're a lifelong Republican.
That's right.
Why?
Well, I tell people I'm a Republican because I'm a conservative, and not the reverse. The Republican Party, as it stands right now, is the best advocate for conservative values. They're not perfect, but they're the best, and I've always been, it's always been what I've wanted for this state and this country. And so I've been a supporter of the Republican Party. My dad was in Republican politics way back before Republicans were cool in Alabama.
Right.
They were very few back when Dad, I think, first ran for the legislature in the 70s. He was kind of tilting at windmills, but we've seen a big turnaround in that. That's good. That's good for Alabama.
Well, also having a quixotic father ain't the worst thing in the world.
No.
Pretty good example.
He has been an excellent example. He did eventually hit one of those windmills. He became circuit judge here in Montgomery County, and has been a great example to me. And it's kind of the ideal of what I would like to be in a judge.
So what do you think are the basics of being a judge? And then we can get into the specifics of the Court of Criminal Appeals, but what should a judge, what qualities should they possess?
Well, putting on a black robe doesn't make you special. It doesn't make you more wise. It doesn't make you more intelligent. It doesn't make you, praiseworthy, any of that. It should be a job that is taken with humility. And for me, the best job description of a judge I've ever read was written about 3,000 years ago in Deuteronomy. When Moses was setting up the Israelites' judicial system, he gave a job description that rings true today. It's hear the causes that come before you, judge righteously between each man and his brother and the stranger who's with them, show no favoritism, fear the small as well as the great, and I think most importantly, do not fear the face of man in judgment, because judgment is God's. I think if a judge follows those commandments, he'll do a pretty good job.
I think if everybody followed those commandments, we'd be doing an all right thing. I think life would be better. Now, for folks who don't know, what is the function of the Court of Appeals?
Court of Criminal Appeals, it is the court that is going to hear every criminal conviction that gets appealed in Alabama. Supreme Court's not going to hear them all. They may hear some if they grant what's called certiorari review, but the Court of Criminal Appeals is the one to which you have an appeal of right. Meaning you get convicted of something, you choose to appeal, it's going to go to that court. It also hears kind of some other appeals further on in the appellate process, Rule 32 appeals, things like that. But it has a very critical kind of gatekeeping function to make sure that the trial courts are getting it right.
Now, is Rule 32, I'm not a lawyer, folks, but is Rule 32 where counsel, like in an earlier trial, was not up to snuff?
Correct. That's where you bring claims like that my previous counsel was unconstitutionally ineffective. People may bring claims that the jury did something wrong, things that don't necessarily strictly deal with the questions of guilt or innocence.
And then sometimes it's like maybe the judge had a off ruling, it wasn't interpreting the law correctly, these sorts of things.
Most claims regarding judicial rulings in the trial, they're going to be brought in the direct appeal.
Okay.
They sometimes get kind of grandfathered in when they're brought. It's something we see a lot of, where the claim is, my counsel is ineffective because he didn't argue that the judge got this wrong. And so there's kind of two layers that you have to get through to get to the meat of that claim. But that's the way it may pop up later.
And how much, it's a science and an art, but how much art or discretion is being on the Court of Criminal Appeals as a judge? Like, I know judges follow the law,
Sure,
but there are, given a fact pattern in a given case.
Sure. They're judgment calls that get made. Whether you think something is, for instance, if you think something was material, meaning whether it made a difference in a case. There is, you're going to look. You're going to try to be guided by precedent, but every case is unique to its facts, and you may be looking at a piece of evidence that got excluded or that got wrongly admitted, and you may be making a decision on whether the court thinks that it actually affected the outcome of the case. Because there can be errors in cases, what's called harmless error, where something went wrong, it's clear it was legally incorrect, but it really just didn't make a difference.
Okay. Again, folks, we're talking to Rich Anderson. He's a candidate for the Court of Criminal Appeals here in the great state of Alabama.
The very great state.
The very great state of Alabama. And it's kind of an odd question, but like, why do we have, because you're in the middle of one of these races, why do we have partisan races for judge? Is there really a clear philosophical difference between Democrats and Republicans?
Yeah, there is. I think there are some philosophical differences. We often criticize maybe soft on crime policies that I think really do have a deleterious effect on communities. But I think there are other states that take a nonpartisan approach to judicial elections. There are some states that don't have judicial elections at all. They have appointed judges. Personally, I like our system because I do think it gives the people the opportunity to hold judges accountable. If someone gets onto the court and starts doing some crazy stuff, you don't have to return them there. And when you are making a decision on who to send to the court, I prefer the decision to be made by the people of Alabama rather than the smoky back rooms of Montgomery.
Exactly.
Now, what does your wife think about you running?
She can't stand it. Shocker.
I'd ask that question.
She'll tell you. She'll happily tell you. She is not a big fan of the political process. She is, she's a wonderful woman. We have gone through a lot together. We fought and beat cancer together. We have, as I always tell you, you probably know, we've spent a lot of time rebuilding houses. We work closely together. She's wonderful, but it does not have a lot of patience for the political process.
Well, I like her already. Yeah.
Yes, I know. She's very kind to let me do this though, and it's tough leaving her at home and going out on the road and traveling all over the state, but only a few weeks left. So,
well, in these few final weeks, if folks like what they're hearing here today and they want to help you out, how can they do so?
Sure. The easiest way is to look for my website, which is andersonforalabama.com. That's spelled out FOR instead of the 4. Or find me on Facebook at Anderson for Alabama. It's easy enough. Or heck, email me, Rich at andersonforalabama.com. Yeah. And if people want to support me or ask me questions or, please donate, they can certainly do that through the website.
Well, I appreciate the time as always.
Thank you very much. Rich. Good to see you too.
Good to see you, Rich.
And Eddie, you feeling any better now?
After seeing him, I feel a little better.
Okay.
He brightens up the room quite a bit.
Oh, thank you, Eddie. Thank you,
Eddie. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Sometimes you need things done around your house or land that your lawnmower or weed eater just can't handle. That's when you call Prattville Farm Center. They bring their own crew and equipment and clear whatever you need. They say no job is too small. I've been going to Prattville Farm Center for years, and I like dealing with hometown folks. They get the job done right and get it done quickly. If you have land that needs clearing, call Randy at Prattville Farm Center on South Memorial Drive in Prattville. Call 365-5400.
I'm with Miss Dot at the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall. Dot, you have a big event coming up.
February is the biggest month we've had in years because this is our 30th anniversary, and it will be February the 24th from 9 until 6.
Anything special going to happen that day?
There will be surprises, giveaways. You can use gift certificates on that beautiful mahogany furniture that we've got, and we've got gorgeous mahogany. Some of it is signed pieces, as a matter of fact. We've got the Tiffany style lamps. We've got chests and beds and tables and chairs, and it's just so much. I can't really get across to you how much we've got.
All right, the date and hours for your big anniversary sale.
February 24th, 9 until 6.
And give us those regular hours of operation.
Monday through Friday is 10 until 6. Saturday 9 to 6, and Sunday is 12:30 to 4:30.
That's the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall, 425 Coliseum Boulevard.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-632-4055 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-632-4055. That's 800-632-4055. What do you have to lose? Call 800-632-4055. Again, 800-632-4055.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. So this next story started to break yesterday. Of course, we were packed yesterday with guests and a lot of news going on in the Alabama State House. There'll be plenty of time to get back to that, but I want to address this because one issue that continues to be near and dear to my heart, and one that I talk about, say, often with Judge Napolitano, is the evisceration, the violation of Americans' Fourth Amendment rights.
Oh, yeah.
Rights not just given by government, but ones that are recognized as natural, preceding governments. At least that was the idea.
Supposed to be.
And I continue to find that remarkable, Eddie, that even though the whole moral underpinning of this nation's government has been not only flipped on its head, but then smashed and curb stomped into smithereens, people keep acting like, oh, we got the same form of government. Look at the continuity of the Constitution. What are you talking about?
I see you getting eroded every day.
The people running the American government today would call the founders of this country terrorists, and they'd probably bomb them from the sky with a robot. Excuse me, pardon me. See what happens when we don't have guests? I'm really letting the fire out. But do you remember this moment, Eddie, with Trump and Leslie Stahl? Let's tune in together.
Scandal was when they spied on my campaign. They spied on my campaign.
There's no
Leslie.
real evidence of that.
Of course there is.
No.
All over the place. Leslie,
Sir.
they spied on my campaign and they got caught.
Can I say something? You know, this is 60 Minutes. And we can't put on things we can't
No,
verify.
you won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't
Look, let
put
me tell
on
you.
things we can't verify.
Leslie, they spied on my campaign.
Well, we can't verify
It's been totally
that.
verified.
No.
It's been, just go down and get the papers. They spied on my campaign, they got caught.
No.
And then they went much further than that, and they got caught. And you will see that, Leslie, and you know that, but you just don't want to put it on the air.
As a matter of fact, I don't know.
See, he's so much better than me with patience.
Oh, yeah. But that one moment where, what did he say? He said, go down and get the...
We can't
Look, let
put
me tell
on
you,
things we can't verify.
Leslie, they spied on my campaign.
Well, we can't verify
It's been totally
that.
verified.
No.
It's been, just go down and get the papers.
Just go down and get the papers. And is that just a Trump throwaway?
I don't think so.
No, I think Trump's like, We literally have the paper.
Right. I believe he has the file.
Well, the report that came out yesterday from Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger. Schellenberger.
All right.
Is that the CIA urged foreign spy agencies to spy on 26 Trump associates leading up to the 2016 election.
Oh.
The operation conveniently led to allegations that the Trump campaign was colluding with Russia. Former CIA Director John Brennan helped whip up the plan and shared his targets to the intel organizations in the U.S., UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. This is all according to Michael Schellenberger. The development is significant considering the U.S. government claimed it was notified by other agencies that Trump was colluding with Russia, when in reality, the U.S. government masterminded it, according to the report. For years, Donald Trump claimed that he was illegally spied on by the Obama administration.
Has somebody called Leslie Stahl? I think she needs to know this now.
No, I still can't. This is 60 Minutes, Eddie. We can't verify these things that are inconvenient to the regime.
Right.
Because we're essentially a part of it. Hey, take 60 Minutes off your header, put Department of Information, your job wouldn't change. You bought and paid for propagandist. But you're so high on your own supply, and yes, I mean your own farts, that you think you're telling the truth and you're on the up and up. While you're doing the bidding of some of the worst illegitimate government actors in human history.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking on this topic, related in a way, and we're going to get into the interview Jesse Waters did with Michael Schellenberger, or did with Matt Taibbi, actually. And we also have Schellenberger clips and plenty of reporting. Apparently, what they did yesterday, while we weren't covering this, is they laid out that basic story. That, it was the Australian authorities who alerted the American authorities that George Papadopoulos was, working with the Russians. Well, no, it wasn't.
Right.
It was the CIA, at the behest of John Brennan, who went to all these other foreign governments and said, hey, could you spy on these folks for us so we can give a cover story?
Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
So what they're supposed to come out with today is there's this binder. That's what Trump meant by, go down and get the papers, Leslie.
It's a binder?
Get the papers.
A dossier, perhaps?
Oh, and by the way, Catherine Herridge, remember she did all this great reporting on Fox?
Yeah, I do remember her.
She went to CBS. She's now been let off.
Right.
Let go.
Yep. Saw that
just after she reported on the Biden docs and all this other stuff, Schellenberger, Taibbi, that would have been Catherine's bread and butter. She would have reported it on CBS.
I think I saw that on Tim Pool's Twitter page or something last night. Not on national news, not to be known by anyone unless you do your own homework.
Right.
Yeah.
So apparently there's some binder that was first put together by Nunes and team. And they've been trying to get it out. And in fact, Trump was trying to get it out, declassify everything. This binder that was, by the way, it was put together by Nunes staff and House Intel Committee, Republicans, but the CIA would only let them put it together at Langley. In secure rooms. Right? Yeah, with them watching you over your shoulder.
So the bureaucrats are really running things, are they not?
Yes, of course. Because national security.
How is that national security?
Well, Trump then tried, talk about bureaucrats, Trump then tried to declassify this binder, get it out of Langley. That's when the National Archives folks and the DOJ started pursuing this documents case.
Is that right?
Well, that's interesting.
Very interesting.
How all that works. But it looks like somebody has gotten the binder out and leaked it to reporters, and that's what Taibbi and Schellenberger are sitting on. It's supposed to drop today. But, national security, it's like the old Jedi mind trick of, national security. It forgives all manner of sins committed by the government in the shadows. So, loosely related to all this, did you see Jake Sullivan yesterday? He's the national security advisor to Biden. Jake Sullivan, was asked about this new FISA renewal. You know how they renewed the FISA program, but only for a few months?
Yeah.
And now there are some Republicans, and I would hope a few Democrats, if they're actually true to their principles, though they seem to be able to whip Democrats into shape.
Oh, definitely, dude.
But Jake Sullivan was asked at a White House press briefing, what do you think of this FISA program? In particular, the reform idea that, as the Constitution says, if you want to get into a person's privacy, if you want to read their stuff,
yeah,
if you want to steal their stuff, essentially, you at least have to get a warrant from a judge.
Correct.
And it can't be general warrants. It has to be particular
specific,
persons
right?
and particular things that
Right.
you're looking for with probable cause. And judges tend to be like, especially in matters of national security, yeah, go for it, man. But we've created this whole parallel process called FISA that doesn't hew to the actual constitutional rules. Again, how can you have a legitimate constitutional government if at every turn you're undermining that Constitution? And anybody that tries to bring up this fact, you deem the worst in the world. So here's Jake Sullivan being asked about this very issue yesterday. I don't think what his answer is, I don't think it's going to surprise anybody.
On FISA, there are a couple of amendments that are being considered. One of them would require a warrant for every query of lawfully collected data. If that were to pass and get into the bill, would the president veto that bill?
So I'm not in a position to stand here today and make veto threats on behalf of the president. Those are decisions for him to make. What I will tell you is that we do not believe that that serves the national security interests of the United States. And in fact, today I will be making that case to a number of members that the warrant requirement as conceived is not the best way actually to ensure the protection of the personal privacy of Americans. There are a number of other elements of the bill that we have supported that would reform and update FISA to protect the civil liberties of Americans. But a warrant requirement from our perspective would go too far in undermining the very purpose of FISA, and frankly, it would put victims at risk.
FISA shouldn't exist, Jake.
Right. If you can't do it legally, then that makes you just as much of a criminal as the guy you're trying to prosecute, because he couldn't do it legally either.
And I love this tortured logic, emphasis on tortured when it comes to the CIA, that, well, the Fourth Amendment requirement for a warrant of particular persons and effects, that is only for like local law enforcement, and that's only for like state governments or like domestic law enforcement.
See, that's the problem.
Like the FBI has to get a warrant, but the CIA can do whatever they want. Oh, by the way, the CIA or NSA can do whatever they want. And as FISA currently exists, the FBI then taps into all this information.
Because they're all against you. And that's the problem I have, man. The Constitution, as you know it and I know it, why do they know it differently? That makes them, to me, a treasonist. They don't belong. And the problem I have, and you've seen by my actions.
Like treasonist?
If you can't follow the Constitution, and you, for whatever reason, don't think you have to, you do not belong in this country, period.
But that's the thing, Eddie. If you don't think you have to follow the Constitution, you usually end up in power.
That's the problem I'm having.
It's a problem America's been having for a century.
Because we entertain, and this is an issue I have, we entertain people talking like this. You shut them down immediately to let them know whatever world you're living in, bizarro world, you go live in it, but it ain't ours. And because we haven't done that, we're all living in bizarro world.
See, but here's what they tell the congressmen who get close to doing the sort of reforms you and I might like. Eddie, Congressman Bader, are you sure you want to be responsible for the next terror attack that hits this country?
Yeah. Sure.
But you see how that I said that.
But
it's not that, there's actual terror threats, which everybody should take seriously, and this helps us solve that. It also comes across as, even if there is any sort of terror threat, we're going to blame your ass for it.
That's where I have the issue. You tell me that, and that's fine. I go, ooh. And then I turn to the camera and go, did you hear what this jackass just told me?
Right.
These are the guys we need out of power. But that's the problem. They don't. They sit there and take it like sheep.
Right. And it doesn't matter how many liberties they steal. It doesn't matter how much of your wealth they steal. They will then say, if there is another failure on their part, we didn't take enough of your liberty and money.
There you go.
It's always your liberty. It's always your freedom that is to blame for the problems in the world. Just give the experts who mean well, because you want me on that wall. Again, not the good guy in that movie.
Right.
Some people seem to think he is, though.
He has his uses.
It's just it's a joke.
It is.
If it wasn't so infuriating and frustrating.
But again, I haven't seen a turn. We're still going down that road where we all know it's wrong. We all know what this road leads to, but we're just steadily marching.
I think there are a lot of people that are also easily scared.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They spied on my campaign, Leslie. They spied. I mean, it's your
No,
passion. It's just the gall of these folks.
But someone like Leslie Stahl, again, grew up with her, my generation, I grew up with her watching her on 60 Minutes, used to think the world of her.
Right.
And then slowly that curtain got peeled back. I'm like, holy crap, these are the problems.
Right. Now, coming up in a second, we're going to go to the Jesse Waters clip to get more detail from Matt Taibbi on everything that just went down with this. It's pretty enlightening.
Yeah.
And the more goods apparently coming out today. So I wanted to cover this because to me, this is the issue that woke me up politically, in particular Snowden.
Mm-hmm.
It confirms suspicions. And then the most disheartening part, it is truly disheartening, is like nobody seems to care.
There you go. Thank you, Joey.
Yeah. Well, if Americans want to be that dumb, yeah, I'm calling y'all dumb.
Soft, man.
Go for it.
Soft.
Stop pretending like you're better than any other country. Because you'll do the worst to the folks that get in your way. You ain't that different than all the other human beings on this planet. We just luckily have amazing traditions we inherited that keep us from being as bad as some other countries.
Yeah.
But we're chipping away at it by the day.
We're not chipping away. We're blasting away.
Well said. 272-9228. Hey, this part of the program, Happy Note, brought to you by Dylan Rings.
Okay, I got a thought about Dylan's Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Guy like me, I'm a schlub.
Yeah.
Things like Valentine's Day, I forget.
Yeah, I didn't forget, but I'm still not doing anything.
Right. But here's your chance to be a hero. Don't just sit there and be a jerk because you forgot Valentine's Day and you just think it's going to pass. Take the opportunity to acknowledge, hey, I messed up, but you know what? Here we go. We're going to Dylan's Rings, honey.
Right? Or ladies, maybe you have a credit card.
There you go.
Why not go by Dylan Rings? In fact, if you go to their Facebook page, you can see some items they still have in stock.
Yes.
These are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And it's a fabulous 25% off. So if you're feeling a bit disappointed that you didn't get what you wanted for V-Day, for Valentine's Day, but hey, who needs roses and chocolates when you can have stunning ruby and diamond jewelry?
Exactly.
That's what I'm looking at here. Like, it's a diamond necklace, like the actual chain is diamonds with a, ooh, wow, ruby right there as a pendant. That is absolutely gorgeous.
I got a feeling if you come in the door with that, she will forgive you for forgetting about yesterday.
So the good news is at Dylan Rings, the ruby jewelry is on sale right now.
Oh, all right.
On sale until March the 1st with a fabulous 25% off, like I just said. Treat yourself or drop a hint to your special someone, like you're saying, Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
Love yourself, darling. That's the message from Dylan Rings today.
I like that.
And of course, don't forget they're a full-service jewelry shop. Josh Ryder's a true artist and kind of a mad scientist back in his lab there. Custom design, second to none. Of course, they can do repairs, spa treatments, appraisals.
Oh, the resizings, yeah.
Even pearl stringing.
That's right. I still got to get over to see that.
Yeah. You still got your bracelet?
Of course.
Ask them about permanent jewelry. We'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, I've seen more and more that's trending now.
It's cool.
It is. It really is.
I've gotten used to it. Honestly, I've been doing some stuff that I'm amazed it hasn't fallen off.
I'm telling you, dude, still got mine.
I hope that movement didn't show up on camera.
Yeah, probably did.
Anyway, y'all check out Dylan Rings today. You can always go to DylanRings.com or check them out on Facebook or Instagram, or just stop by 119 Brown Springs Road. That's what we suggest. Go see him in person. That's just off of Atlanta Highway, kind of where the old Fun Zone used to be. That's where Dylan Rings is. Be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey and Eddie, those crazy guys on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Who's there? It's Bill, the electrician, here to make your home burglar-proof. Oh, thank goodness. I thought maybe you were an intruder. No, ma'am. I'm a burglar's worst nightmare.
If your house doesn't have sufficient outdoor lighting, it's a prime target for intruders. That's why you should call Crosby Electric today.
How's it going, Bill? Just fine, ma'am. See, when your intruder trips this wire, it grabs him by the foot and hangs him upside down. Really?
The experts at Crosby Electric will install lighting that not only discourages intruders, but also makes it safer for you and your guests to navigate around steps, pools, and other tripping hazards.
Bill, is that contraption safe? Oh, sure. It's disarmed now, but... Bill, like I said, I'm a burglar's worst nightmare.
I see.
You mind cutting me down, ma'am?
Avoid your worst nightmare. Call the outdoor lighting experts at Crosby Electric or visit crosbyelectric.com.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
I'm Republican Jacqueline Tomlinson. You've heard me here on the Greg Budell Show quite a bit over the years. Running for office is the last thing I thought I'd do, but when your community calls, you answer. With more than 15 years of family law experience, I've helped local families through some of their toughest times. And so, I'm asking for your vote in the Republican primary on Tuesday, March 5th for Circuit Judge.
Vote for my mommy!
Paid for by the Tomlinson Campaign, P.O. Box 821, Wetumpka, Alabama, 36092.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. We continue to enjoy some nice days as we continue to dry out. Today's high temperature, not bad for February, high 67, mostly sunny. Not as cool tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 44. Friday's high, not bad, upper 60s, still dry, clouds on the increase. Chance of showers by late Friday night and a few scattered showers perhaps on Saturday, but very iffy on the rain chances, and quite cool Saturday with a high temperature only in the mid-50s. I think we'll be near freezing on Saturday night. Sunday's high only in the low to mid-50s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
I just want to thank Eddie for reminding me off air of how fat I am.
I thought I was looking at, of all the pictures I take with you and guests, you always say how terrible they are after I post. So this one I didn't post because I thought you might say something.
Because you thought I looked fat.
No, I thought you would look fat.
Actually, no, this is why I'm not wearing T-shirts anymore.
Well, if we go up a size on the sweater then. I'm just kidding, Joe. I'm just kidding. You look great, but she makes the picture look.
Yeah, it's just thank you for looking out. Let's go to David. Hey, David.
What's up, David?
Hey, how are you guys?
I'm fat.
You know that whole meeting between like the intelligence community and politicians, I think it probably goes more like, do you remember the movie The Firm with Tom Cruise?
Mm-hmm.
You remember the scene where Wilford Brimley, who's the security guy for the firm, calls Mitch and says, hey, let's take a ride. And they go out to a waterfront and they get out of the car, and Wilford Brimley opens his briefcase and opens a dossier, and it's got all these pictures of Tom Cruise and this gal on the beach in Grand Cayman. And he says, I sure would hate for your wife to see these. That's kind of what I think the intelligence community meetings, how they go with the politicians.
I think you're
Absolutely.
right. And I think that's why the ones that are most likely to get corrupted get elected.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or those who are already corrupt.
Yeah, right.
Get promoted.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, the people who were there maybe initially for good and honest reasons, once they have that meeting, at that point, it's all about self-preservation.
Yeah.
And they're going to vote however they're told to vote basically to preserve their political careers and keep their families intact.
Yeah, can't
I
argue
think
with that.
that's exactly how those meetings go.
I think you're right.
You're right, David. Power likes to squeeze necks, and it does so in subtle ways.
Absolutely. And the more power, the bigger the squeeze.
Yep.
Well said.
So have a good one, guys.
You too, buddy.
Wait, was that a comment of how fat I am? 272-9228. That's 272-9228. Now you got me all self-conscious.
Talking about overweight lovers in the house.
Really? What does that mean?
Used to be Heavy D. That was my line when I'd come in.
Overweight lovers in the house?
In the house, yeah. You never heard of Heavy D?
No.
Heavy D and the Boys?
No.
Oh my God.
I'm younger than you. You have to remember. What time period is this?
Mid-'80s.
Yeah, I'm about to say I don't know everything from
What
the
about
80s.
Fat Boys? The rap band Fat Boys? You remember
No,
them?
I'm not really.
Fat Boy?
No.
Oh wow.
Mm-mm.
Can't get
I'm
away.
not an old man.
I guess not. Just fat.
Oh, baby, I hear the blues are calling. Let's go to Chris. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hey guys, I was calling too. The gentleman spoke a minute ago. Kind of wonder why some of these politicians do what they do, right? And there's really, I think, three reasons. One, it's money. They're going to enrich themselves or somebody or family or something like that. Two, they've been blackmailed. Or three, they're being scared to death. And I think like this Turner guy that came out yesterday about this Russian thing. We got to be careful with this.
Right, yeah.
We've got to be scared. Of course, it's coming up during this $94 billion bill that's trying to be pushed on the American people. And so they're just trying to scare people to death and go, please vote for this so we can not get killed by the Russians, laser beams or whatever it is. It's unbelievable. Yeah. And I think the mask is off now, and I think that's what they're scared to death of. People are wising up to all this stuff now. And my fear is it's like a beat dog. You put him in a corner, and he's going to do something crazy.
Now, on this note of the Russians. Did you see that Putin came out in his state television interview in Russia? It said he would prefer Joe Biden winning the upcoming presidential election.
He's not the only one.
Yeah.
He's not the only leader that feels that way.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's being pushed around. They know Joe Biden is probably one of the most corrupt presidents this country's ever seen. And of course they would want him. I mean, the guy's laid down for everything. I mean, look at the Middle East. I mean, the New World Order is right. It has changed dramatically under this guy because we have no leadership and no one fears us.
And Putin's exact words is Biden, he's more experienced, more predictable. He's a politician of the old formation. But we will work with any U.S. leader whom the American people trust.
And he's predictable. That was the one thing I think. That's why the world stayed so calm
during
for
Trump.
so long under Trump because he wasn't predictable. They didn't know what to expect from him. He wasn't corrupted over the years, and they didn't have some big supposed dossier on Trump to know what he would believe or think or do, and it is. This is the most unbelievable times, I think, in our country's history. I really do. This is almost 1776 type stuff where some people are waking up to the fact that your government is not your friend. It is not. It is not. It's going to spend your money to oblivion. It's going to destroy you. It's going to kill you. It doesn't matter just to get to the ends. And I swear I'd love to see that binder. I'd love to see every page of it.
I think Taibbi and Schellenberger have the goods. It's supposed to drop today.
Think they'll put it out?
Gosh, that's going to be wonderful. Nice. The deep state in Langley, Virginia, is the epicenter of all the bad stuff in this country.
Right, but I love that they get to operate in the shadows and go, no, we're keeping you safe, Chris. We're keeping you safe.
Oh, yeah. You can't be scared. We don't want those mean Russians killing you.
Right.
Or we don't want any terrorist attacks to happen. Wink, wink. You know.
Yeah.
Right.
Great. This is exciting times, folks.
Let's just hope Taylor Swift's not in the area, though.
Well, I think she was designed in Langley. They probably all listen to her music there.
She's gonna be brokenhearted really soon.
Well,
he doesn't traditionally date white women.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm telling you.
Hey,
I'm more like
part of the script, buddy.
I like to quote somebody who quoted James Brown. I like him fat. I like him proud. All right.
Well, she ain't either. Well, she's a little proud.
Did you listen to Kelsey singing drunk?
Yes.
That is unbelievable. Y'all gotta playing again.
Like, Viva Las Vegas. It's like, whoa there. All right, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You can't make it up, my friend.
Nope.
Y'all have a great day.
You too,
You
man.
too, Chris. This part of the program, folks, brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team have a unique understanding of the River Region real estate market because Willie's been helping buyers and sellers in Montgomery and the surrounding areas for over 4 decades. I think it's getting close to 5 at this point. And at the Goodson Group, not only can they help you with buying and selling your property, but they have management services available should you want to rent out your home. The Goodson Group is also the home for the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed and accredited real estate programs in the state, the great, very great state of Alabama. A lot of folks have graduated from Bo's school, gone on to great success. You could be the next. So check them out today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor of News and Views in the afternoon. Gumtown John, my good friend.
Yeah.
My old friend.
How's he doing?
Says, I think he's doing all right. Life's coming at him, but he's handling it.
That's good. He's handling it.
Joey, just so you're clear, writes Gumtown John, when we call you fat, we're not calling you fat with a PH.
Ooh.
We're calling you fat. I know.
I was using the PH. Pretty hot and tempting.
I would rather you just not do that. It's not
too late.
Let's go to Penny. Hey, Penny.
Hey, guys.
How you doing, Penny?
Hey, I'm doing great. Well, if you think you're overweight, you've got time to get your butt in the gym before you have to get on some swim trunks. Think the positive.
I've been going to the gym, and I'm still getting fat.
Yeah, put some weight on the bars this time, buddy.
I don't think that's the deal. I don't think it's the gym. I'm fairly active. It's what I eat.
Yeah. Well,
and I like to eat.
Oh, Eddie, did you hear him? He said he's fairly active.
He's
is
fairly.
what he eats.
Yeah, it's fairly is the key word there.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah, I don't want to hear that tone. I could whoop both y'all.
Okay.
Foot race, whatever y'all want to do. How much you bench, Penny?
Oh, I don't know. Y'all are terrible. I'm trying to tone up my stuff too, just so you know, because summertime's coming. But I was sitting here reflecting on how in the hell did this world get to the way it is, and I was thinking, the Democrats has really had a good plan because for years they wanted to keep all the people stupid. That's why education has stayed as sorry as it is, because you can only indoctrinate stupid people. You can't indoctrinate intelligent people. And we have paid people to have children out of wedlock so that we can keep their vote in our hands.
Oh, yeah.
It's so sad. And this little prank they did about being afraid of the Russian people, because what are they going to do? They're going to send some nuclear thing to outer space, whatever this trash is. I think we need to be more scared of all the illegal aliens we have in our country more than we need to be afraid of Russia.
Oh, yeah.
We don't even know who the hell we have in our country.
It's well said. Yep. And I think we also need to be a little more fearful of our own government. Like, who's going to defend us from them? I have a slight disagreement with you, though, Penny, on you can't trick smart people. No, I think it's a lot easier to train a smart dog than a dumb one.
Well, I'll give you that. Sometimes, depending on what you're trying to train them on. But I tell you, my dad fought in World War II, and to know that this country is going to hell so quickly for the freedom that he fought for us, and he lost his brother over there, it's so disheartening to me. And I know they're looking down saying, what what did we give our lives for?
Yep.
It's sad.
Very. Very
But
sad.
on a positive note, today is my Friday. And
Oh, that's
I'm going
cool.
to have Monday off, and so I'm going to play for 4 days. So I'm going to have fun. So I hope you guys do as well.
Well, you too.
You
Penny,
too,
you have
Penny.
a great 4 days off. And if you get bored on Monday, you can listen. I think I'm covering for Greg in the afternoon, so you can listen to us.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
El Presidente
Sounds like
wants
a
the
plan,
president's
guys.
days off, so we'll let him have
All
it.
right.
Y'all have fun.
Thank you,
Appreciate you, Penny. 272-9228. Let's go to Red Top. Hey, Red Top, how you doing?
Hey, doing good. And damn, it's a beautiful day, fellas.
Yeah, it is.
And I'll tell you, my phone's ringing off the hook for work. Golly Moses, I'm having to turn some people down. Goes to show you how few people there are in the industry that I'm in. And yes, there are lots of Spanish or Latino people around all over the damn place. And I know they always have been, but I'm seeing an increase.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it, even right here in Montgomery. Now, I got a question. And Joey, by the way, I like all the new additional tracks that you're doing, buddy. Sounds great.
Thank you.
And Greg still hasn't listened to my one song that I sent him. He still hasn't listened. I don't get it. But anyway, I got voting notification cards. I don't know. Did you get one too in the mail yesterday? We got an election coming up.
Don't think I got one. I'm still have a forwarding address right now, but
Oh, boy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, one thing about it.
it's coming
it
up March the
does not-
5th, though, yeah.
It never says the date of the election. I looked at two of them. I'm going, well, it'd be real good if y'all said what the date. I looked several times. See if you can find the date of the election on your notice to vote.
Well, it's
Seems
Tuesday,
like-
March the 5th. It's Super Tuesday. So.
Yeah, I know, but it would seem like they would print that on the form that they sent you. Now, everything that's happening March the 5th is all primaries, right?
Right.
That goes for what Charlotte Meadows is running for. Everything is primaries at this point, correct?
Right. All these candidates we've been having on, yes.
Wow, and since all the fun, disruptive candidates are gone, Joey, you and I have nothing to do on that Tuesday.
Yeah, well, other than just go fill in a bubble or two and go our merry way.
I just ain't gonna do it because I'm not a Republican, and this is all a bunch of Republican stuff, and I don't feel it's honest. Nor do I want to get on their list, because now every time anybody votes, it goes out to every damn body. And, that's freedom of information. Very quickly on the they're just talking about an EMP bomb, radioactive bomb that takes out all stuff. Well, hell, the United States has had that with it for like 30 years. These are all old technologies that everybody's agreed they're not going to use. So them coming out, Johnny come lately and all this stuff is like China's now starting to build. Well, the big problem we have now is the size of the Chinese Navy is massive. So that's going to be something to watch.
Right,
But,
well, we'll see. I appreciate the
you
call.
guys
Red Top.
have a good afternoon. Roll Tide, go Trump.
Hey, buddy.
And let's go to Eric. Hey, Eric.
What's up, Eric?
Hey, JoJo.
How you doing?
Man, I hope you all right. What we need to do at Blue Water is get you a damn deck and a balcony built out there so you can step outside and do your broadcast.
It's broadcast to the world.
Yeah, broadcast in the sun.
You cooped up in a dungeon,
Yeah, I kind of like it that way.
I know, buddy. But something, man, that just amazed the living hell out of me is public schools. I'm going to shift gears real quick. I'm going to make it quick because I'm on my break. Buddy, we got 52 public schools in Montgomery. And every time I see a damn bus of kids going to school, at school now, being dropped off, there ain't even a third of students on that bus. We're paying all this money to go across town to pick up kids to go to public schools. I mean, and they want more damn money, and they constantly want to raise your taxes. But yet again, they're so appalled about it, because a lottery and hell, Look, you don't have to buy a lottery ticket. You don't have to go to a casino.
That's right.
I'm tired of hearing all these advocates about, or anti-gambling, and they want to get out there and say, oh, no, it's not right. Look, nobody twists my arm to drink a Budweiser when I do. Hell, Joey,
Right,
it is what it is. You know something? We got more state employees, city and county in Montgomery than we do actual military personnel as far as Maxwell, Gunner, and Air National Army Guard. Now, that's a hell of enough. We got all these state employees, county employees that, man, come on, So where is it going to stop? When the taxpayers get enough is enough, and say, rebel, but then what do?
You switch to a 1099. That's what you do.
Yeah, I done tried that route. You eventually get through it, but why am I? It's like these vaccinations in schools, man. American citizen kids have to have vaccinations, but these illegals that come in, they don't.
Correct.
Yeah, one of the privileges of citizenship.
Yeah.
I want to hear what the hell the Democrats out there in Radio Land's got to say about that, but they're not going to respond. But Joey, you always do a good job. We're going to get you a deck belt out there on the top, buddy.
I like that, Eric. I appreciate the call, man.
Take care, Eric.
All right, man.
272-9228. What are you smirking about over there?
No, it's a great call.
No, it feels like there's some subtext here, like I have a penis drawn on my face or something.
No.
Like you're sitting there laughing at me.
I like that call. I liked Eric's call. I liked the way he pronounced, the way he talked like a normal person. That's a hell of a note. I like hearing things like that. I like that.
Did I mention your T-shirt's nice today?
It is kind of crazy.
With the samurai cat riding a shark.
$5. I know.
This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing.
Now, that's a good dude.
Really great guy, and he's put together a great business there at Cole Plumbing. Of course, they can help you with everyday plumbing problems, from clogged drain, low water pressure, maybe even a tree root invasion. And, that could be something that's happening all of a sudden after years of living in the same spot. If that tree's getting taller outside your home, those root networks tend to be growing as well.
Big time.
And so, if you're having those sorts of issues or you suspect there's a problem, Cole Plumbing, of course, can help you. They can also help you in an emergency. They have this proprietary pipelining technology that allows them, with minimal discomfort to you in your home, to get in there and solve the problem. That means they're not going to have to dig up a huge hole in your yard,
big old mess,
tear out a bunch of drywall. Even I think drywall is even worse.
It's worse, dude, because it becomes powder and you'll never get it out of the house.
And then the wet part becomes mud and it gets solidified. It's a whole thing. And Cole Plumbing understands that time is of the essence and that they can get the job done with precision and expertise and leave you happy. Or maybe you don't really have a problem other than you want to upgrade to, say, a tankless water heater system or taller toilet as you're getting up there in age, so it's easier on the knees.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Plumbing has your back. So give them a call, 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
More news and views after this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. Police in Kansas City today say the shooting yesterday that left one person dead and 22 wounded after the Chiefs Super Bowl parade appears to be stemming from a dispute involving a number of people. The victims range between the ages of 8 and 47. 3 people have been detained and a number of firearms recovered. 7 Los Angeles firefighters have been injured, 2 of them critically, when an explosion occurred as they responded to a truck with pressurized cylinders on fire. Spokesman says the cylinders may have contained natural gas. Watchdog report finding the kind of failures that enabled high-profile prison deaths like gangster Whitey Bulger and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein also contributed to the deaths of hundreds of thousands of other prisoners. This is SRN News.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. On September 6th, the government announced it will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000, with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver, or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may qualify for compensation and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement, with your VA benefits fully protected. You may be entitled to a significant financial award for your Camp Lejeune claim, but you must act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune. Call now or you may forever lose your right to be awarded a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-320-7171. That's 800-320-7171. 800-320-7171.
Weather is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm. I'm Johnny Adams, your Alabama personal injury attorney with the Johnny Adams Law Firm. Stay weather alert all day long with the Rich Thomas Weather Network.
Well, hi, everybody. We continue to enjoy some nice days as we continue to dry out. Today's high temperature, not bad for February, high 67, mostly sunny. Not as cool tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 44. Friday's high, not bad, upper 60s, still dry, clouds on the increase. Chance of showers by late Friday night and a few scattered showers perhaps on Saturday, but very iffy on the rain chances, and quite cool Saturday with a high temperature only in the mid-50s. I think we'll be near freezing on Saturday night. Sunday's high only in the low to mid-50s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At Bobo with Capital Tractor, our showrooms are buzzing with the groundbreaking innovation, power, and reliability of the #1 selling compact tractor in America. No surprise, it's a Kubota. Stop by for a test drive today. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. The Alabama Senate on Tuesday approved legislation to restrict assistance with absentee ballot applications. The Senate approved the bill designed to combat ballot harvesting and voter fraud on a 27-8 vote that broke along party lines. The bill now moves to the Alabama House of Representatives. A suspect led police on a chase along I-65 that ended in Autauga County Tuesday. Clanton police initially pursued Jortarian Tucker for shoplifting at Walmart. Tucker ultimately crashed on I-65 South and fled into the Autauga County woods, where police eventually found him hiding under the porch of a homeowner. A new statue of civil rights icon Rosa Parks was unveiled Wednesday in Montgomery's Legacy Plaza. There are plans to add statues of Dr. Martin Luther King and Georgia Congressman John Lewis in the coming months. The plaza currently hosts a brick sculpture honoring civil rights marchers. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Conservative Justice Sarah Stewart has the experience to lead Alabama's courts. As a tough-on-crime judge, Sarah Stewart presided over hundreds of cases, giving tough sentences to the worst criminals. Republicans can trust Justice Sarah Stewart to defend the Constitution and protect our families. On March 5th, vote conservative Republican Sarah Stewart for Alabama Chief Justice. Paid for by Sarah Stewart Campaign, 2029B, Airport Boulevard, Mobile, Alabama, 36606.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Introducing the future of construction. Southern Steel. Strong, durable, and built to last. From towering warehouses, pole barns, and barn dominiums to manufactured metal roof panels, Southern Steel has you covered. Save time and money with quick turnaround and enjoy unmatched protection against the elements. Whether you're a business owner seeking efficiency or a homeowner looking for peace of mind, visit Southern Steel today and build your dreams in steel at 1295 North McDonough Street or 240-2223.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views. I'm Joey, and this guy right here, well...
He's my best friend, he's my pal, he's my homeboy, my rotten soldier, he's my sweet cheese, my good time boy.
Look at my eyes. I look like I'm dead in the face. My eyes are just black.
Yeah.
Just on this?
I think it's something weird. We got to fix.
It actually feels good because I don't feel good today, so I don't mind looking a little dark.
Yeah, the lighting in here is...
Are you kidding? This is a model studio.
Yeah.
The lighting is so great in here.
Yeah, we're still trying to bootstrap the whole video thing. Sorry about that, Senator. Like, we're working at it.
I got a lot of really positive response. I sent, I think you fixed a little bit of the editing issues this morning.
I fixed the audio yesterday.
Yeah, I sent it out to a lot of people. So many people were gracious enough that they let me know how much they enjoyed the interview.
Now we got to get Tuberville in here.
We do. We need to work on that.
And then get him to make fun of me for being chubby.
Like, that's going to be hard.
No, it's not going to be hard. I think he'll be game.
Well, maybe they'll use that as an enticement.
Actually, I think that's the biggest enticement for Coach or a lot of these other men that come in here is to make fun of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm game. It's a target-rich environment.
Yeah, well, that happens a lot.
In a second, we will, I guarantee, get to the Schellenberger, Matt Taibbi interview.
I like the Schellenberger.
We'll get to the Matt Taibbi interview with Jesse Waters if you haven't seen it and kind of break it down, the details of this binder, this operation by John Brennan. Yeah, it did start with him. It started with the CIA. But first, let's go to Soldier Boy.
What up, Soldier Boy?
Let me tell you something. There's a great interview. You're going to love listening to that. I would listen to it 2 or 3 damn times. Man, you talk about the corruption. We need to dismantle the whole damn CIA and hire the Boy Scouts and let them do our security for this country. Damn it.
I could not agree more with you on that, buddy.
Oh, I see. I got about 4 or 5 talking points. But Joey says I always get off track real easy, so I got to stay on it. Okay,
all right.
That was number one. Number two is I see that the state legislature is getting rid of my idea of ballot harvesting, because you know what I was going to do, don't you?
What's that?
I was going to put on some serious chapstick on and go to these old folks' homes where these ladies are at and start puckering up for some votes for Trump. Let me tell you, sign right here, baby.
Wait, you were...
I don't know if that would cost that man the election. I don't think you should do that.
Oh, baby, it's going to get them. We're going to get votes, baby.
You shouldn't be kissing old men that way.
No, not old men, old ladies.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you need to be more clear.
Damn. I love my country, but I'm sorry. I don't swing for that team. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't ever go for the old commie kiss?
No.
I'm glad that's not a tradition in our country. That's just gross.
Next talking point. Let's talk about the shooting that happened in Kansas City at that championship thing.
Radio DJ.
I talked to one lady this morning about it. She said that the person had an AK-47, picked it up, it was heavy, and she said it was an AK. I'm like, okay, she evidently knows what she's talking about. How do you freaking get an AK-47? What do you do, strap it in your leg and tell them that you're packing?
Yeah, I don't know if it was an AK.
No, she said it was an AK. The government's being quiet about it, of course, but she was one of the people, her husband's the one that tackled the SOB.
Yeah. I saw that. It was a couple people that tackled it, and thank God they did.
Oh, absolutely, man. And I tell you one thing, I think, the Kansas City man, I want to look for him as a safety or a linebacker, because he's a great tackle.
Yeah.
And then his wife, she put her 135 pounds and sat on him. So
I saw that.
Move his hand. What a combo, ladies.
Yeah, somebody got a couple licks in there, too. I saw that in the video.
Yeah, those are some heroic moves.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If I'm on the court, that looks like a extra body massage.
Oh, dude, I'm all for the licks.
Yeah, I'm not. I didn't see. What are you looking at?
I saw bonuses to be given to that man.
Absolutely, get what you get, and I liked it when people reacted.
Yes.
And didn't some? No, you know what? Some people fight. Some people flight, and it doesn't make them any better or any worse than anybody else. But I got to give props to those 3 or 4 guys that tackled it. So he didn't get too far. Yeah. They saw that muzzle flash, and the next thing you know, boom, jumped on him. Now, let me ask you a question. That's a long rifle, an AK. So, nobody saw that weapon?
Right. How did the guy conceal it?
I mean, that's a good question. I think, our government, I'm still waiting on the identity of the pipe bomber on January 6th, and I'm still waiting on the
Well, it could have been a lot worse. 1 dead, 21 injured. But
Absolutely.
it really
But
could have been worse.
Wasn't it mostly children, though?
Yeah.
A lot of kids, yeah.
Now, let's think about those children. And if it truly was an AK-47, do you know what that bullet does to your muscle and your bone? It's nasty.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
It is. It's not like a 45 or a 38 or something. And, it just rips you apart. So
is it the velocity?
It's a shredder. It's made to shred.
And I always have more sympathy for children. I mean, I'm not
of course,
feeling bad for the bad, but children, man, and I'm dying to see I really don't have any faith in the government giving us a good story about this. And right now they're leaking out with stories where it was a grudge between two people. Really? Right.
I saw a story this morning.
AK-47 took, huh?
I saw a story this morning that it showed his picture, supposed picture of the guy, and said he was an illegal alien. So I've heard everything.
Oh!
Yeah, I've heard everything today about it. So I don't know what is true.
Wait a minute. What was that lady who was in that church who didn't know the difference between if she's a man or a woman in that shooting in that Joel Osteen church, okay?
Yeah.
Wasn't she from, where was she from? Venezuela?
She was not from here, yeah.
Another illegal alien. Mr. Trump, I tell you, he is the Nostradamus of the 21st century, is he not?
Mm-hmm.
Then he said, there's some bad people. I'm not saying they're all bad, but there's some, I tell you say it, do a Trump from on that one.
Well, Soldier Boy, the truth is, I have a time machine. So I saw this happen. I came back to the present.
I've heard of that.
I'm creating all sorts of branch realities. The timelines, it's crazy. It's more crazy than Joe Biden.
I'm gonna ask you,
they're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists.
They're bad guys.
They're bad hombres. And I assume some are good people.
Bad hombre. I like when he says that, man. Bad hombres. He's toned it down a little bit, which kind of, it makes me feel.
Oh, he'll be back.
He'll be back. Yeah.
He can't help it.
Really?
Yeah, he can't help it.
The best television ever was when he was debating the Republican primaries for Jeb Bush and Rocky from Bart.
Oh, I loved it.
You got low energy. You got low energy.
He nailed
and who
it.
had small hands? Rubio.
Jeb is a mess. Jeb is a waste. Jeb is a big fat mistake.
Yep.
That was an actual quote for one of those debates.
That ended Jeb. That was
amazing.
That was it.
That was it.
Hey, on the final talking point is, okay, this happened in Kansas City. Yep. Where's that billionaire liberal? I'm going to get the Swifties after me.
Oh, boy.
I'm going for it.
Well, actually, she was asked not to come to the parade.
Well, really? Well, here's what she should do. She ought to put up a multi-million-dollar fund. She's a billionaire. She can afford it. That's interest on her, right?
Oh yeah, that's nothing to her.
For the people, give the charity. Wouldn't that be a great PR too? I might even like her. I might even listen to one or two songs.
Yeah, but when you give to charity, especially on her level, I always wonder, does it ever really go anywhere?
Well, I tell you, if I was her, I put myself at her, and I have to self-identify as Taylor Swift, well, that'd make me a woman, wouldn't it? Damn shit. Okay, then I would say, I would make sure that money went to them.
That's it. I think it's too convenient, and people take advantage of it. It's too convenient, too easy to write a check and just assume I'm giving a check to Joey. Joey's going to make sure it gets to the right people. If you really start looking into a lot of these places, you'll see the money never leaves Joey's hands.
You mean like the Clinton Foundation?
There's one right.
There's one out there.
Or the money does change hands, but it goes to a good friend.
Yeah, it goes to Joey's cousin.
Yeah, right.
That lady at Joel Osteen Church, they said they found on her magazine, what was it, a Palestine bumper sticker?
Free
Palestine, yeah. I can imagine if she had a Leonard Skinner bumper sticker on there, or maybe a Go Dixie, or
like These Colors Don't Run. Right.
Could you imagine the left would love that? They couldn't get their stickers out of their,
Well, that's how you know.
So,
boy, that lets you know who's really in charge. Just like the last shooting that we had that we all know has been a transvestite, they just haven't let that out. If it had been the other side, if it had been a good old boy, we'd have known his name, his mama's name, everybody, we'd have known all that. So it just kind of lets you know who's really in charge.
Isn't that sad, though?
Oh, it's incredibly sad.
And then you look at me and wonder why I have zero faith in the country that I defended for 26 damn years. Really?
It's crazy.
Until we get some change happening, brother.
And you ain't alone. You're a lot of veterans. One graph I saw, Soldier Boy, is Nikki Haley saying, Trump said mean things about my husband and me when he's on the front lines. It's like, he's talking about you cheating on him, you dope.
Right.
But then, she's like, well, veterans are with me. Veterans are going to put up with Trump and all this stuff. And then you look at, the support of who are veterans supporting. Trump is way ahead.
Right.
Way ahead.
Hey, let me tell you one thing. They won't say it because they can't talk about the president because it's covered under the United States Military Code of Justice, UCMJ. Okay? But let me tell you something. They are all behind Trump. Let me tell you, it doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, Asian, or Middle Eastern, or African American. It don't matter. We still wear that same uniform. We got one team and one fight. And let me tell you, they'll be quiet. They'll say, hey, Soldier Boy, let me tell you, man. He looks around. I was like, what are you looking around for, man? Like somebody's watching us? He goes, no, I just want to let you know, man, that I'm behind Trump. I got a wife, and I got 3 kids, and I was like, he's singing my song.
There you go.
It's the truth.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it, man.
See you, Soldier Boy.
All right, play that for me, man, because it is a great interview.
We're going to do that after the break.
Promises. You've been promising it for.
Isn't that a song?
Yeah, it's a really good song too.
Who does that one?
Oh,
Promises.
No, you'd never keep. I don't know. 80s hit. Loved it.
Yeah. You're a child of the 80s, aren't you?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Plus, I grew up, 5 sisters, so pop music, I think in the mid 70s they were playing. So that really influenced me. I love silly, sappy, crappy pop music.
Also, the 80s was a pretty good era of variety. It's hip hop's getting started, rock's still established.
I remember
pop music is all over different types of fusion of styles.
Yeah, I remember LL Cool J. I remember me telling Justin's mother, I think we should name our child.
You could
LL
hear
Cool J.
Michael Jackson, Prince, Madonna, the big three, but you could also hear
you hear Alabama.
At the same time as you hear a Boy George song, you're hearing also a John Cougar Mellencamp song.
Dude, I remember listening, I think Y102, or no, I'm sorry, it was in Alaska, so it was their pop station. But I would hear every once in a while they would play a country pop song like Alabama. And that just shocked me because it.
You ever get into kind of the weird, the second, it's not really a British invasion, but the bands that were coming out of England at the time, I'm thinking.
Kraftwerk?
No, that's German.
Oh,
Kraftwerk's German.
I really got into Kraftwerk.
Kraftwerk's great.
Yeah.
Way ahead of their times. Those guys were literally geniuses, electrical engineers. They're really, really. Kraftwerk's cool. No, I was trying to. The Smiths, for instance.
Yeah, they were all right. They didn't
the
really
Smiths
crank my
always.
tractor.
I'm kind of over alcohol.
Yeah.
So, but on a rainy, hungover morning, the Smiths hit the spot. Yeah. It starts to make sense that where you're from sort of influences the music that you're going to make.
Crazy enough, I don't know if you ever heard of the Bodines. I got big time into the Bodines. They were really just offbeat band. Driving in Crime was a big one I got into. Man, I got into
Driving in Crime?
Yeah.
Did you ever do some Driving in Crime or listen to Driving in Crime?
Woof, Joey. Yes.
Some lady break your heart?
Oh, it was a lady.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, it was a lady. Luck was her name. Luck was a lady, and she broke my heart in Vegas. Left all my money there, Joey. You ever been, Joey, at Vegas at 3 a.m. in the Fountain and
No.
looking for a change?
No.
Me neither. But I hear it's a really sad place to be.
Right. 272-9228. Before we hit this break, and let's lift the mood a little bit after that awful, sad story, then talk about Pest Pro Services.
Dude, I got a deal for you. They are hiring, Joey. In fact, they've got a bounty out there. They are willing to pay up to $250. You can bring them a good employee.
Wow.
Yep. I seen it on the Facebook this morning. We're always talking about how informative their Facebook is. I saw that out there this morning.
So if you search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces, you're going to see this announcement.
See that offer. Yeah.
Wow.
And if you keep searching, you'll see things like silverfish. You'll see things like termite season coming, mosquito season coming. Right. But you'll see so many things that they do in the community. That's a big reason I love Pest Pro.
Pest Pro Services, folks. And you got to ask also, but they're going to do a free termite inspection. But again, you have to ask them about it. And they'll also do a free estimate if they do find a termite problem for you. Here's the deal. Homeowners insurance does not cover termite treatment.
Do not.
Or damage, repairing termite damage. The damage is a lot more expensive to repair than the treatments.
Yep.
So you need to call Pest Pro today. Ask about a free termite inspection. You might as well get your home treated to prevent any damage from ever happening. And with all your pest control needs, you might as well make Pest Pro Services your everyday pest control company. Just get on a regular schedule with them at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or Again, you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that, well, Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
I'm Republican Jacqueline Tomlinson. You've heard me here on the Greg Budell Show quite a bit over the years. Running for office is the last thing I thought I'd do, but when your community calls, you answer. With more than 15 years of family law experience, I've helped local families through some of their toughest times. And so, I'm asking for your vote in the Republican primary on Tuesday, March 5th for Circuit Judge. Vote for my mommy! Paid for by the Tomlinson Campaign, P.O. Box 821, Wetumpka, Alabama, 36092.
Don't settle for what Uncle Sam wants to give you. Get to Toyota of Montgomery today, where we'll double your tax refund. This month only, Toyota of Montgomery will double your money. If you have a $1,000 refund, we'll double it to $2,000. $2,000 is now $4,000. $5,000 is now up to $10,000. It gets even better because Toyota of Montgomery has incredible incentives on our new inventory, like the new 2024 Toyota Camry LE, now only $299 a month, or the best-selling new 2024 RAV4 LE. It's only $349 a month. That's double your refund money up to $10,000 plus save on new Toyotas and more for your trade. Get to Toyota of Montgomery online at toyotamontgomery.com. Part of the Sutherland Automotive Group. Dealer will match tax refund after $5,000 from dealer discount off TSRP. Example, 2024 Toyota Sequoia Hybrid Capstone 4-wheel drive in-transit vehicle. TSRP $84,172. Camry MSRP $30,958. RAV4 MSRP $28,214. 12,000 miles per year for 39 months with 3638 due at signing. $0 security deposit with approved credit on sealed new Toyota purchases. Select new Toyota purchases plus taxes, tag, title, and $999 doc fee. Offers end 2/29/2024.
Hey there, River Region area. Dawson Electric hopes you had an amazing Christmas and a fantastic New Year. As we step into 2024, it's time to tackle those resolutions and make sure your home or business is in tip-top shape. And for all your electrical needs, there's one name you can trust, Dawson Electric. Whether you're planning a remodel, constructing a new home, or require service for your existing electrical systems, Dawson Electric has got you covered. Need emergency generators installed? Looking to enhance your outdoor space with stunning landscape lighting? Dawson Electric is the answer. We do it all for homes and commercial spaces alike. For more information, you can find us on Facebook. Search for Dawson Electric Company, LLC. Hit the like button and stay connected with us. We're happy to speak with you at any time. Just call 334-270-8024. Say it with me. That's 334-270-8024. For all your electrical service needs for home or business, call us at Dawson Electric. Dawson Electric, lighting up your world.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Now, as promised, we're going to go right to this interview with Jesse Waters and Matt Taibbi. And so let's listen in from the beginning here.
1950s, President Dwight Eisenhower announced that he was naming the first civilian director in the history of the CIA. His name was Allen Dulles, and Dulles had one order: eliminate communism. But under Dulles, the CIA morphed into Washington's most powerful agency, built up by a league of ruthless assassins, operating under the orders to protect capitalism from the Soviet menace. Dulles became power hungry. Just months into his term, Dulles green-lighted Operation PB Success, a coup to take out Guatemala's democratically elected leader, Jacobo Arbenz, and replace him with a military dictator. Why? To serve as a vanguard for corporate interests. You see, they needed to protect the profits of the United Fruit Company. They were under threat of having their land confiscated under the Arbenz administration. And the CIA has never shied away from government overthrow, from Iran to the Congo to South Vietnam. The CIA has never changed until recently, when they began interfering in American elections. And when it happened, it was called a conspiracy theory.
The biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign. They spied on my campaign.
There's no real evidence of that.
Of course there is.
No.
It's all over the place.
No,
they spied on my
sure.
campaign and they got caught.
Can I say something? You know, this is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't
No, you
verify.
won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't
Look, let
put
me tell
on
you.
things we can't verify.
Leslie, they spied
And-
on my campaign.
Well, we can't verify
It's been totally
that.
verified.
No.
It's been, just go down and get the papers. They spied on my campaign. They got caught.
Barack Obama said everything was done by the book.
I guarantee that there is no political influence in any investigation conducted by the Justice Department or the FBI, not just in this case, but in any case.
Now, Obama isn't the first politician to lie and won't be the last. Last night, we brought you a bombshell report from journalists Michael Schellenberger and Matt Taibbi that allege Obama's CIA not only was involved in the Russia hoax, they started it.
The story, as you mentioned, was that, we were just informed by foreign intelligence about this. Our sources tell us a very different story, which is that this was initiated by the U.S. government. It came from within the U.S. government's intelligence community, including the CIA.
Yep. According to this report, Obama's CIA director, John Brennan, asked our English-speaking allies to target the Trump campaign, handing these foreign intelligence agencies a target list of 26 Trump associates. These 26 Trump associates were to be bumped, meaning they would be approached by assets, bumped into, and these interactions and relationships would be reported to the FBI as suspicious. These were people the CIA considered easy marks, like George Papadopoulos, 20-year-old. Foreign spies didn't discover evidence of Trump-Russia collusion and turn it over to the feds. Foreign spies were assigned by Obama's CIA to create a false impression of collusion, to trigger an FBI counterintelligence investigation. Obama's CIA worked with Hillary's foreign agents in London to hatch the hoax, which led to the FBI investigation, the illegal wiretapping, the Mike Flynn sting, and then when Trump caught wind of it, the Comey firing. And then Comey leaks the memos which triggered the Mueller investigation. Now, the Mueller investigation was designed to cover up for Obama and Hillary and tee up impeachment. It failed on impeachment, but the cover-up worked until now. New reporting by Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger revealed that House investigators had discovered the root causes, but their investigation and all of their documents were confined to secure rooms in Langley. And when Trump was leaving office in those hectic final days, he attempted to declassify this material, which started a battle between former CIA Director Gina Haspel, the Department of Justice, and the National Archives. The report says someone may have taken this binder of material exposing the entire intelligence community out of Langley. And it may have been what the FBI was looking for when they raided Mar-a-Lago.
Yep.
Others say that's not true. But the point remains that the Obama-Biden White House, their CIA and FBI director, launched an illegal preemptive war against democracy, got caught, and have been covering it up for 8 years. Schellenberger and Taibbi also say redacted FOIA documents suggest that Biden has been conspiring against Donald Trump with the intelligence community to prosecute the former president in federal court, which would be an impeachable offense. Matt Taibbi is the Racket News editor-in-chief and Griftopia author. So this is great reporting. It's.
Before we get into this, Eddie, how much do you believe in the sense of, like, are we both in the same camp of course they would do this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not surprised. No, we do it to foreign governments all the time.
Right.
Why would it surprise me we did it to our
There's a great clip, and I can't play it to the end because he says, yeah, this is an F up, but he didn't say F. It's Jack Kennedy.
Oh.
And he was so upset that some general was posing in a picture with this expensive piece of furniture, and it's going to hurt the budget and morale and all this stuff. Like, why y'all being so wasteful? And he kept going, that silly bastard. Why would he do that? I can play some of the clip, but you can hear Jack Kennedy in charge. Jack Kennedy pissed off. Jack Kennedy wanting to be true. As much as there's problems with the Kennedys, and Camelot wasn't really Camelot.
Right.
I tend to think JFK was actually earnest in what he was trying to do in many cases, especially with threats to break up the CIA after what happened with the Bay of Pigs and then the Cuban Missile Crisis.
What happened to him?
And then, he gets, his brains blown out.
Right. And again, it's another one of them things that, and of course, it was before our time, but it was another one of them people that said, hey, he was the canary in the coal mine. He's telling us what's coming.
Yep.
They took him out. And we believe Jack Ruby did it.
Now, by the way, the same excuse that was given why we need to have FISA continue to violate your Fourth Amendment rights is like, well, people will die if we get rid of this.
People are dying now.
And now the excuse for this, why you can't release that binder?
Yeah.
Why they couldn't release it before? Is like, well, people will die.
That goes back to
you're harming national security.
That goes back to the terrorists will win. If you let this happen, Joey, the terrorists will win.
Right. Well, how am I going to be protected from the terrorist and your ass? Because both of y'all are a problem.
Who's the real terrorist?
And in fact, it's almost like the terrorists are the shock troops for y'all to steal more power.
Right. Right.
Not saying you coordinated it, but you're certainly benefiting off of it
Oh, sure.
and milking it to the cows come home or something like that.
Not trying to stop it
I don't know
either.
how you milk until the cows come home. Usually the cows are there
Milk
when
the
you're...
goat till the cows come home, then you milk the cow.
Anyway, let's go now. This is the portion where Jesse Waters is talking to Matt Taibbi.
All right.
It's hard to verify because, we were told that this special counsel, Durham, was going to get to the bottom of it. Are you saying he missed this?
We were told that the scope of the Durham investigation was limited to a few areas and that he wasn't looking at this particular direction. The information that we have, the investigation that was conducted by the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, what they found was a broad political espionage campaign, and there were two main conclusions that are at the center of our reports. One is that at least 26 Trump aides and associates were improperly and without predication placed under surveillance in the election year of 2016. And the other one is that these same folks cooked the intelligence for the January 6, 2017 intelligence community assessment saying that Russia conducted an influence campaign to help Donald Trump. It's a WMD style story. They suppressed dissenting opinions and created a false narrative.
So there's a lot of debate over this binder. Is there a binder? What's in the binder? Is it redacted? Who has it? Where is it? Is that why they conducted the raid? What's going on with these materials?
Well, it's a difficult story because we heard multiple versions of what the binder is, how many binders there are. We heard there are as many as 3. But we do know a couple of concrete things. We know that only a share of the HIPSI investigation ever got out. Of course, people are aware of the Nunes memo, which led to the investigation of uses of FISA. We know that there was a report done into the origins of that intelligence community assessment, which supposedly never left a vault on the grounds of Langley. That's like a 17 to 20 page report that was confirmed by multiple sources. Apart from that, we were told there are numerous other investigative materials that may or may not be these binders that stories are referring to. But we know that there's a lot of stuff that didn't get out, that there were thousands of hours of investigation and their conclusions have not yet been declassified.
Oh, this would just be another reason why they want to do everything they can to prevent Donald Trump from returning to the White House, because he'll blow the lid off of that. He tried to, wasn't able to at the very end, but caught him most of the time. I am interested in your reporting that there is I guess, heavily redacted FOIA documents that suggest that Joe Biden has been collaborating with the intelligence community to prosecute these federal cases against Donald Trump. And we'll see how that shakes out. Matt, great reporting to you and Schellenberger. I suggest everybody go to your website, your Substack, and read it for yourself.
Yeah, Jesse Waters getting the scoop there early with these two guys. And these are the guys that also did the Twitter files largely. They go way back. For a long time, they were the darlings of the left for their reporting on corruption.
Yes, they were.
At Wall Street and other parts of the U.S. government. And now all of a sudden, they're just, we can't listen to these guys at all. Goodness
That's
gracious.
what happens when you change teams, Joey.
Yeah. It's all about the team, not about the truth.
Right.
This part of the program, in fact, this entire hour, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and her team are ready to help you. Now, they've got a new thing going on. Of course, they can help you with buying a home. They can help you with refinancing a home in the normal cash-out refinance sense. To unload debt off of you. Or maybe you want to reinvest in your home in a certain way.
Right.
Or reinvest in your family. Maybe the kid just graduated college. You're going to go start life in a brand new city.
We'll give them a head start.
And you want to help them out a little bit. It's your money. You've built up equity in the home. You can use it how you wish. And in fact, hey, this is just, stop me if you think this is bad advice. If you're sitting on a house that's too much house and it's worth a lot, but because it's worth so much and with interest rates where they are, nobody's looking to buy right now. It's tough. Why not use some of the equity you've built up to make that money work, that value work for you?
Good idea.
Or it could be, and this is the special new thing they're doing there at Alabama Home Mortgage. If you have student loans, they can do a special rate refinance deal. So slightly different than a cash out refinance.
Right.
You don't get the same penalties, essentially.
Correct.
And so this way, if you're sitting under student loans that you've been not able to pay off for years, but you do have equity built up in your home, give Kim and Madeline a call at Alabama Home Mortgage. That number, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. You can also visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Conservative Justice Sarah Stewart has the experience to lead Alabama's courts. As a tough-on-crime judge, Sarah Stewart presided over hundreds of cases, giving tough sentences to the worst criminals. Republicans can trust Justice Sarah Stewart to defend the Constitution and protect our families. On March 5th, vote conservative Republican Sarah Stewart for Alabama Chief Justice. Paid for by Sarah Stewart Campaign, 2029B, Airport Boulevard, Mobile, Alabama, 36606.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. We continue to enjoy some nice days as we continue to dry out. Today's high temperature, not bad for February, high 67, mostly sunny. Not as cool tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 44. Friday's high, not bad, upper 60s, still dry, clouds on the increase. Chance of showers by late Friday night and a few scattered showers perhaps on Saturday, but very iffy on the rain chances, and quite cool Saturday with a high temperature only in the mid-50s. I think we'll be near freezing on Saturday night. Sunday's high only in the low to mid-50s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Now, do you know, remember a woman in the news several years ago by the name of Nkechi Diallo?
I can't say that I do.
Well, I'm not surprised because that's not the name she became known for.
Oh, okay.
Notorious for, you might even say.
All right.
By the way, I don't know if everybody else has experienced this. I'm constantly getting clearly scam phone calls from folks saying it's open enrollment period.
Oh, yeah.
I'm about to figure out how I can teleport myself through my phone to strangle whoever is doing this.
Well, you must not be on the do not call list. Because if you're on the do not call list, Joey, those kind of things don't happen.
I'm going to start to put them on air. That's what I'm going to do. Anyway, you remember Rachel Dolezal, though.
Oh, yeah. Saw her somewhere not too long ago.
Well, her real name, or the name now she's using, is like Nkechi. So I'm thinking Nkechi or... Anyway, she was working at a school. She was working in Tucson,
a teacher,
Arizona, at a school district.
But it doesn't pay so much, Joey.
Well, she's been fired. Why?
Because she had a side gig, Joey.
She had an OnlyFans account.
Yep.
Her posts are contrary to our district's use of social media by district employees policy and our staff ethics policy. She is no longer employed by the Catalina Foothills School District. Man, that sounds like something out of Step Brothers.
Here's the thing, though. If you got an OnlyFans page and you still got to work as a school teacher, you must really be ugly.
Well, look at her.
Oh, I've seen her. I just,
Ooh.
Yeah.
So the lady who pretended to be black, so much so that she was the president of an NAACP chapter.
Yep.
She's now back in the news in that she, couldn't keep her pants on.
What? She's trying to make a little side money, Joey. But again, if you got an OnlyFans page and you still have to have a full-time job, and you've had that OnlyFans page for more than a month or so, you ugly.
What, do you think people got like a transracial kink or something?
No, I think name ID, when people figured out who she was, I think that's what kind of, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just what a winner. That lady, what a winner she is, folks. I mean, what a real role model there. 272-9228. Let's go to line 3. Who's
we got
this?
Brian on line 3.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Good. How are y'all?
Doing all right.
So I was just calling in about y'all talking about scam calls. We like to play pranks on the scammers. So my sister, she just goes along with it, and then she goes, "Bless your heart, you idiot! Y'all need to go get a life and get a job." And then my dad, he every time he answers the phone, it's a scammer. He'll be like, "You're on the air. What's your name? What can we do for you?"
I try to get them on the air. I try every time they call in here. I was like, "You want to go on the air?" And all of a sudden, click.
By the way, Brian, what you said your sister just said, that's a lot nicer than I can't repeat the things I say here.
Yeah. What I say to them is I talk back to them in their own accent. I'll be like, "I would like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. I was just wondering, do you know that this is extended?"
See, you flip the script.
You have actually called the polling place for the campaign of Vivek Ramaswamy. I think he's the great Indian hope that is going to bring the great brown hope that will bring Hinduism to the States. It's like, yeah, that'll work.
It's
That's awesome, man. I'm glad I'm not the only one who does that.
Oh yeah, there's tons of people. Most of them don't want to say they do it.
Right. Well, because at a certain point, if it's once or twice a day, even my iPhone will occasionally just immediately throw something to spam and not even take the call, which is great. But lately, they've been unhinged, like 3-4 calls a day, and it's driving me nuts.
I haven't had a scam call in months. I don't know what it is. They must put me on their do not call list because they got mad or something. But my sister made them so mad. They said, because you do this, we're going to let them call you and make people call you. So she gets 30 spam calls a day.
Good Lord.
It's stupid.
Good Lord.
Well.
So if you make them mad enough, they'll keep calling you.
Yeah.
Well, that might be what's going on with me.
But if you get on the do not call list, they'll keep calling you too. Just know.
Well,
thank y'all. Y'all good one.
Appreciate it, Brian. 272-9228.
Hey, you remember that Uma Ahmadine chick?
Yeah.
Did you see what she's dating now?
Yeah, well, she dropped Wiener.
Yeah, well, you can't blame her.
I'm not saying she became a big old les.
What was his online name? Didn't he have some like Ronaldo or something?
No, we could find this. Let me see. Anthony.
I swear it was like a
Wiener pseudonym.
Yeah.
Carlos Danger.
Yeah, baby. Carlos Danger.
And seriously, when they were doing that documentary about him making a comeback, and then it's his laptop that hurts Hillary Clinton even more, and the documentary crew is filming it as Huma's finding out about it in real time. If looks could kill, like, you know that look, whether it's from your wife, your mother, your sister, whoever.
Yeah.
Like, she was going to castrate Mr. Wiener. That's where it was going. And she wouldn't even need a knife to do it. Just look at it. It'll turn to stone and fall off like she's Medusa.
Well.
But so she's dropped Wiener.
Yeah, and she's picked up a new guy, a younger guy.
Named George? Or not George.
Alex Soros.
Alex Soros?
Yes, which is somebody's son.
George's son?
That's it. His 38-year-old son of a billionaire. Yeah.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you want to date a billionaire?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not blaming her.
Yeah.
I just think he has better choices, much better options.
Let's go to line 4. Yeah. You're on there. Who's this?
Man, it's Boomer T.
Hey, Boomer T.
What's up, guys? Man, it's on beautiful Lake Jordan, just enjoying the afternoon. But look here, man, let me tell you what I do when them folks call me.
Tell me.
Dude says, I'm like, how much can I put you down for Trump? Thank you for donating to Trump. Thank you. And then hang up immediately. And then if I'm in the house and one of them guys call over, they go, I didn't talk to you about the car insurance. I have a big giant whistle. I blow the living stuff out of that son of a gun. And let me tell you something. I don't get too many phone calls anymore.
That's better than the do not call list.
Yeah, that dude will bust an eardrum.
I mean, look at this one guy. I mean, he kept calling like every single day at 4 o'clock, trying to sell me some kind of freaking life. Look, I'm old. I got enough insurance. Leave me alone. And just, So, man, one day I was sitting there, and I just come up from the boat, and I had a bunch of stuff in my hand. And I picked that phone up. He said, I told that I ain't lying. And ever since then, man, I ain't no problem with him, man. Both of whistling there, though. But, hey, look here, I don't get to call in that much, man. You know, to be in a house husband, Teresa keeps me pretty much whipped and stuff. No, I didn't say that. I enjoy it. I tell you, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but hey, look at here. I'm gonna tell you what I got for Valentine.
What you get?
I got me a brand new Swipper sleeper.
Oh, that's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
For my floor. Hey, look here. And for my birthday, I want a new steamer for my floor. Boys like to be the steam cleaner.
That's how you can tell we're getting older. You start caring about that stuff. I get it. I get
it. Eddie, I'm out here right now looking at boards I should have set up years ago. Finally, I'm like, I think I'm going to go ahead and start. I don't know what it is. As you get older, you put stuff off, but you got to get it done sometime. The lake's coming around, though. But hey, y'all standing great up here in Titus, Alabama, and we sure appreciate y'all guys. But like I said, get your whistle and handle business, and God bless America. Keep on strumming, brother. Later.
Thank you, Boomer T.
Later, Boomer T. Now, speaking of calls, I want to go to this phone call I mentioned.
Okay.
It's Jack Kennedy, President JFK. And this was from July 25th, 1963. It's a phone call about furniture purchases.
Okay.
He was ever sensitive to public opinion. Kennedy was horrified to open the paper one day and see a photograph of a Navy aide standing next to an expensive new naval project, a hospital bed that had been built at a base on Cape Cod to be ready in case Jacqueline Kennedy went into labor with their son.
Oh.
Such an expenditure seems modest today, but Kennedy was irate at the cost and, even worse, the publicity involved.
There you go.
So let's listen in together to this call. We can only play the beginning of it because he says F up. This is a F up. Right.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir. That Air Force has caused itself more grief with that silly bastard. Did you see the post this morning?
Yes, sir. I'm looking.
See that fella's picture by the bed?
Yes, sir.
And you see that furniture they bought from Jordan Marsh? What the hell do they let the reporters in there for? Are they crazy up there? Now you know what's going to do. Any congressman's going to get up and say, Christ, if they can throw $5,000 away on this, let's cut them another $1 billion. You just sank the Air Force budget. You're crazy up there. Are they crazy? That silly bastard with his picture next to the bed?
Appalled.
Well, I'm appalled, too. Now, the thing of the matter is, I'm going to get that furniture. I just told Sylvester, you can talk to him. I want to find out if we pay for that furniture because I want it to go back to Jordan Marsh. All right, sir. Then I want that fella's incompetent who had it.
What? Yeah, talk about a pissed off president.
I love
but
the guy on
over
the other
such a
end.
small thing. He couldn't
I'm
even get a word in
Right.
edgewise. Yeah.
I'll be appalled.
Well, he started to say, well, sir, I think this is an F. Yeah, it is an F. Like, fix it.
Fix it.
Woo! You got to wonder. I hope some of the Trump phone calls has been archived.
They gotta have been, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So
Well, that's how the whole Ukraine impeachment started. Because everybody's on the call, and that got leaked in a particular
how do we get
selective
some of
way.
those?
I don't know, but I want to hear some of
I
those
bet
things.
some of them are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But always great. And we have breaking news here, folks. Gambling has passed the Alabama House.
Wow, I owe somebody $5.
On to the Senate.
Made a bet this morning. I shouldn't have bet, obviously.
The conventional wisdom is that they could get it done in the House, and they did. That was just texted to me.
Okay.
By a very good source.
Good deal.
So, yeah, that's Craig Monger of 1819 News. I believe he's down there. Gambling passed the House.
Passed the House.
We got a lot to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been kind of a whiplash going to state stuff. There's a lot, and then this national stuff that keeps breaking. It's crazy.
Nothing is smooth, is it, Joey?
No, but we got to hit this quick break. Hopefully, we'll have Michael Cohen on the other side.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hey folks, this is Tammy Burkhalter at Prattville Farm Center, and did you know there's all kind of dogs that we can feed? Like sleeping dog, hot dog, creepy dog, swimming dog, hunting dog, shaggy dog, lap dog, window dog, riding dog, hiding dogs, puppy dog, standing dog, hat dog, cozy dog, family dog, even a dancing dog, man. So come see us at 1154 South Memorial Drive in Prattville, and we can even feed your kitty cat too.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The River Region's first and only News Talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm Joey. He's Eddie.
Hey, Joey.
And we have on line one here, Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. How you doing this afternoon, Michael?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
We're surviving today. I'm actually feeling good. It's a good problem to have when there's too much news to cover all in one day.
Yeah, you just wonder if the good news gets forgotten tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, it's
if they just blow it out and moved on to something new.
Right.
That keeps happening. There's so much to distract us these days, but I don't call this a distraction. I call this research and fun. ThinkCohens.com, folks. Go to ThinkCohens.com. You see everything they have to offer at Cohen's. And in particular, I love looking at the sound, like audio solutions you have. I'm still stuck in that world of a big stereo receiver amp and then a bunch of wired speakers. And I've got it set at surround sound. But if I upgraded it, I could get rid of those wires, right, and go to just a sound bar that still gets that same great surround effect.
That's right. But I mean, as what you just said, a separate receiver with 5 big ugly speakers who will outperform anything that's new and got all the wife appeal. But, you know, sometimes you can't have all the wife appeal and the best performance at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But the Sonos systems do an incredible job. But, you know, if you got a real receiver, kind of like what you have already, the upgraded version with real speakers, you would be amazed.
Okay, so taking what I already have, but just getting it a little bit, juice it up a little bit.
That's right. That's right. Getting the newer technology, getting a newer receiver that's going to have better protocols for all the different surrounds that are available today, whether it's Dolby or Atmos or just 5-channel stereo. But then having the speakers that are going to perform and give you all of the sound, and then having big ugly subwoofers that can give you all the dynamics of the explosions when you're watching your favorite war movie or Tombstone or what have you.
Yeah, if you want it to be a fully immersive experience, whether it's a great movie or a big sporting event, go by Cohen's and ask them. I'm looking into for a kick butt sound system.
There you go.
They can set you up. Again, you can always check things out from home at thinkcohens.com. I really encourage you to stop by the Boulevard, 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. I appreciate it as always, Michael. Really do.
Thank you. Take care.
You too, Michael.
Final hour of news and views in the afternoon coming up. Again, gambling has passed the Alabama State House.
All kinds of breaking news coming out.
Got to go to the Senate next.
Russian on that whole weapon they got. They're letting that out now.
What is
the Russian space weapon that can?
Is this what Mike Turner was warning about?
Yeah.
So the Russians now have a space weapon.
Yep. They're letting the story out now. Breaking news that that's been the big hubbub.
Do you think we have space weapons?
Does a fat baby fart?
I don't know if they ever fall through. You've seen the rods from God sort of thing?
Yeah.
Like essentially telephone-sized tungsten rods.
Right.
Telephone pole-sized tungsten rod. And so there's no explosive needed, just the kinetic energy.
Goes through the earth.
And it would have the same effect as a nuke, essentially.
Just goes right through the earth.
And this is more like an EMP technology? Yeah.
I wonder, though, how much of, like we said, is just hype.
On that note, and I wish we had had more time with Senator Britt because I was going to bring it up with her, but we have Arthur Herman on the show Monday.
Okay.
And Arthur is a great, my favorite historian. It's kind of cool that we've gotten to know each other. His books are fantastic. In particular, if you want to do some homework, if you like reading, Freedom's Forge is the book. It's the history of how the United States became the arsenal for democracy, the phrase made famous by FDR, how we mobilized during World War II. And so we're going to have a discussion about, say, the defense industrial base and how the United States has fallen behind and what the effect of a Trump reelection might be on these policies and going forward. I think Arthur is brilliant. He's constantly testifying in front of Congress. He's also on the National Security Council. And again, my favorite historian. So look forward to talking to him about this issue. It's apropos, given the news of what the Russians got up there in low Earth orbit.
Mm-hmm.
Be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. A New York judge says former President Donald Trump's, quote, hush money trial will go ahead as scheduled with jury selection beginning on the 25th of March. Judge Juan Manuel Mercan says he made that decision after speaking with a judge in Trump's now delayed federal election interference case in Washington. In Atlanta today, a former friend and co-worker of Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis has testified that Willis' romantic relationship with a special prosecutor began before she hired him to lead the election interference case against Donald Trump. Robin Yurdy's testimony sharply contradicting Willis and Nathan Wade's statements about their relationship. This is SRN News.
The new FedNow system is paving the way for the digital dollar. It grants the government unprecedented access to your financial transactions. This isn't just an invasion of privacy. It's a direct assault on your liberty and hard-earned money. It's another reason why I recommend physical gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnow. I'm a news analyst and a podcaster with nearly 25 million downloads to people just like you who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Big Brother while also preserving your retirement savings through almost anything, including economic crashes, political instability, and even hyperinflation. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text FAITH to 989898. Remember, there's no strings attached. Text FAITH to the number 989898 right now, and I pray you're blessed with continued prosperity.
The Ridge Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Alabama's personal injury attorney, me, Johnny Adams of the Johnny Adams Law Firm. Stay weather alert, everyone.
Well, hi, everybody. We continue to enjoy some nice days as we continue to dry out. Today's high temperature, not bad for February, high 67, mostly sunny. Not as cool tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 44. Friday's high, not bad, upper 60s, still dry, clouds on the increase. Chance of showers by late Friday night and a few scattered showers perhaps on Saturday, but very iffy on the rain chances, and quite cool Saturday with a high temperature only in the mid-50s. I think we'll be near freezing on Saturday night. Sunday's high only in the low to mid-50s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
1819 News.
The House Judiciary Committee has unanimously voted to move the Sound of Freedom Act forward within the Alabama House. HB 42 is a bill that is sponsored by Donna Givens. It increases the penalties for those convicted of human trafficking of a minor. The bill would make it a minimum sentence of life in prison. Givens named the bill after the 2023 movie Sound of Freedom, which is a true-to-life story of an agent within the Department of Homeland Security, Tim Ballard, who started operations to save children from international sex trafficking rings. Givens says if this bill is passed into law in Alabama, it will become the toughest law throughout the nation against human trafficking of minors. Former U.S. Navy SEAL Jared Hudson started Covenant Rescue Group here in Alabama, which seeks to prevent and stop human trafficking. Hudson is in full support of this piece of legislation, and Governor Ivey also says she's proud to support this bill. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
A new bill has been filed within the Alabama legislative session that would require the national anthem to be played, sung, or recited at least once a week in all public schools. The bill is being sponsored by State Senator Gerald Allen. Allen wrote in the legislation that it's imperative that students have exposure to the history of the national anthem and to patriotic inspiration. Temperatures throughout Alabama are currently pretty mild, but come this weekend on Saturday night, Arctic weather will move in, dropping things down to the 20s and 30s. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your market report. How is the real estate market and what does 2024 hold for us? Last year, over 4,700 homes sold and closed through realtors, and the average sales price was $245,000. People who have owned real estate over the last 2 to 3 years have profited by keeping their homes and now have more equity in their home than ever. The people who listed their homes with realtors were able to find ready and willing buyers that paid at or above their asking price. Mortgage companies and local builders have found ways to overcome higher rates with attractive programs that allow for low-cost refinancing when the rate drops. Some of the local mortgage companies have new programs that help buyers with low down payment programs, such as one program with 1% down or even less. If you haven't bought a house yet, now is the time. For all the information, call Bo Goodson at 221-2883 or the Goodson Group at 551-0225.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. As the big voice said, 272-9228. If you want to get in on the program, that's 272-9228. Now, one thing that I find remarkable is the move every few years when we get around election season where somebody says, you know what, Eddie, I get a big idea. Let's do like a centrist unity ticket. So we'll get like a centrist, mushy Democrat that Republicans kind of like, but real hardcore Democrats hate. And then we'll get a mushy centrist Republican that Republicans hate, but Democrats kind of like.
Right.
And we'll put them together on a ticket, and they'll bring the nation together.
Got to go with no.
Well, but hear me out this time. The head of the ticket would be Joe Manchin of West Virginia.
Ooh, Joey.
And
now you put little sprinkles on there.
Oh, so you like Manchin?
I do like Manchin.
You know, and when I heard...
He's not afraid to stand up.
Right, and when I heard about Manchin possibly doing an independent run, I'm like, okay, that's intriguing.
Yeah.
Well, now I have no use for him.
Oh?
Because guess who he floated?
Oh, no.
To be his potential running mate. It was a Republican, a mushy, middle-of-the-road one.
Give me the pain.
It's a fella who likes hot dogs. They're the best meat possible. Hi, everybody. I'm Mitt Romney.
Why?
Right.
Because you don't want to win. That's why. That's like me saying, Joey, I'm going to go beat Usain Bolt in a running test. Okay, running thing. You and me. And he's going to pick his guy. We know we ain't going to win.
No, we're not going to win.
But we'll take all the publicity in the world under, hey, these idiots are going to go race Usain Bolt.
Now, Manchin went on. Here's the actual quote. Hypothetically, if I was picking my running mate, really who I would ask right now is Mitt Romney.
Why?
Manchin also said he would consider former Senator Rob Portman, a Republican from Ohio. Rob's a dear friend of mine. What a good man. Well, I'm sure, good for you. Manchin offered several pointed criticisms of President Joe Biden in an appearance at a City Club of Cleveland breakfast, part of his nationwide, quote-unquote, listening tour. You know what I'm doing on this tour, Eddie?
Listening.
I'm listening. And I'm not just listening. I'm listening. Nationwide listening tour. He's doing this now that he's not seeking another term in the Senate. The tour, which included a stop last month in New Hampshire ahead of the state's first-in-the-nation presidential primary, has fueled speculation that Manchin might mount an independent or third-party campaign for president. He's been linked to the No Labels organization's effort to field a bipartisan ticket. Yeah, no. Go away. But, maybe we're off kilter here, Eddie. Maybe,
how so?
Like the mushy middle of the country actually wants, say, like a Joe Manchin, Mitt Romney ticket.
I think what they want is much like what we wanted in Alabama a few years ago. We wanted a governor that was safe.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Well, yeah.
They want, and we got a safe governor, and a lot of people are happy.
I don't know Kay Ivey personally. I don't have a bad thing necessarily to say about Kay Ivey in her person, but I just don't see it, man.
Neither do I. But I get where people are going. We want somebody safe. Well, I kind of feel like this is a safe thing. For people, like you said, the middle that mush, that just want everything to be quiet. They want to just see rainbows.
Yeah, go smoothly.
Yeah.
No, I'm starting to realize, and you, I think, and I fit this perfectly. Did you go to college?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever think about joining a frat?
No. I went to
never even
college.
even entertained the idea.
No, but we'd go up to USC all the time with their frats and have a good time at frat party.
I've gone to a few frat parties.
Make some money.
But I had no desire.
I had a sister that was really big time into it.
Into sorority.
Yeah, she did
the Greek life.
Alpha, Gamma, Delta, maybe? I don't know. But I remember my parents writing checks just constantly.
But here's my point. I wonder how much overlap is between people who vote in the state and people who are like, y'all are all crooks and liars. how much the overlap of people who vote take the process very earnestly were in sororities and frats at Auburn or Alabama.
Ooh.
We're in all sorts of collegial clubs and fraternal clubs when they go to graduate school, say law school. How many of them are the ones that really run everything, whereas the GDIs, as we would say, who never had any inkling of joining your stupid paid-for club, are the ones who really, I just feel, especially Alabama, is this sort of,
dude,
it's all acculturated right there within the Greek
of
life.
Alabama.
Yeah.
The machine.
It is the machine.
Hello, the machine.
It really is nuts.
So it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just something people don't necessarily like to talk about, but it's actually happening.
So, folks, let's go. We are going on too long here. Sorry. Let's go to my good friend. I like calling him a friend. We have Jeff Deist on the line. Jeff, how are you this afternoon?
Good afternoon, Joey and Eddie. I am doing great. How are you guys?
I'm hanging in here.
Doing fantastic. That point I was just talking about with Eddie here, and, you've spent a few years now in Alabama, but you've seen politics all over this great country of ours, if we could put it that way. Does it make sense that it starts at an early age? It's often the folks that love doing the social scene that tend to be the ones that climb the ladder in politics.
Hey, Jeff? I think we lost him.
Jeff, are you there? Did you mute yourself? Oh, no. Was he like a fraternity precedent?
Oh, boy.
That
brought him back, Joey.
I hear both you guys fine.
Yeah, we weren't hearing you there for a second.
Well, people who are joiners, they tend to have this impulse towards politics early on in life. And what it results in, unfortunately, is people who have never done anything really other than politics from an early age. So, instead of saying, well, we're governed by people who have shown success or judgment or wisdom or whatever it might be in the real world, and then they retire to politics to serve us, instead we get these lifetime people. And I think it's a real problem, especially when we think of how elderly the U.S. House and U.S. Senate are. And we think, well, gee whiz, these must be people who have done all kinds of things in life, and they've been all over the world, and they've made money, and they've been accomplished and successful and high IQ and talented, and now their reward is going to Congress because they have insights to help govern us. And of course, it's anything but the case. I mean, you find people who have simply climbed up through smaller local level politics, through lobbying, through lawyering, whatever it might be, and so we just end up with this permanent class of people who are like Tracy Flick in the movie Election with Matthew Broderick. I don't know if you've seen that, but I mean, we're becoming a world of Tracy Flicks.
Well, and to me, I think it's the arts before college. I think it's the public school system. I really do think there's a difference between somebody like me who went to private Catholic small school education or homeschoolers or anybody in a smaller sort of setting, as opposed to these giant public schools. It does socialize people in a different way, and it changes your expectations. And I think the beautiful thing is the internet seems to be now empowering more the folks that don't have any time for sort of that join the club mentality. And that seems to be one of the friction points in our politics these days.
Yeah. I mean, we're running sort of parallel societies. There's no question about it. I mean, there's Washington, D.C., and I can tell you this from experience, it really is a bubble. I mean, we really have members of Congress who are in Washington who have no feel whatsoever for their own states or districts or for the economy. I mean, it's the digital world as opposed to the old print world gives them and us the ability to sort of never meet in the middle. And boy, I'll tell you what, it's frightening to imagine that we have members of Congress who think the Ukraine war is going swimmingly, for example. The internet was supposed to give us access to all these new facts, but instead we're all just running with our own versions of these facts. And I think it's really a depressing time because I think the level of opposition research that now occurs even at lower levels of politics, people decide to run for office and immediately the other party or their opponent goes back and digs up anything about their personal lives, their business lives. Maybe they've been sued, maybe they've had a divorce or a DUI or something like that. And I really wonder who's going to go into this other than people who are wired for that sort of thing.
Again, folks, we're talking to Jeff Deist. He is the general counsel there at Monetary Metals, also formerly, I believe, chief of staff for a while, on staff with Congressman Ron Paul, Dr. Ron Paul, and was president of the Mises Institute there in Auburn, Alabama for, I think, over a decade or right around a decade. And, leaning into your current line of work, Jeff, but I more want to get into the history of kind of the gold standard. I was actually having that conversation with my grandfather last night. And it's even before he was born that a lot of these changes happen. But it seems like basic mistakes like that happened, say, in World War I, where these manipulations start by the central banks. It's one thing to point that out to people. Then you have to show them, oh, these manipulations done in wartime over a century ago, we've now built an entire system on top of them. So we're really in deep trouble. What is gold still really a valued thing in the sense that we don't have the classic gold standard. We don't even have the whole Bretton Woods system. But am I right that governments are still buying gold like crazy?
Well, some of them are. Central banks, certainly, and they tend to be in the East. Like relative to its GDP, the Russian central bank has more gold than any other country. Now, the United States still dwarfs even Germany or any European country or China or Japan or Russia in terms of our total gold holdings. There are people who question whether all that physical metal is actually held either at Fort Knox or under the vaults of the Federal Reserve System in New York City. There's some really insane subterranean vaults there. So there are people who question that as a factual matter. I don't know about that. But yeah, I mean, the idea that gold has no monetary purpose, which is true. It's not used as money in anywhere in society in the West today. As a matter of fact, if you go out and sell gold at a profit, you have to pay tax on it. You have to pay capital gains, collectibles gains rate, as a matter of fact. So, it's not money in that sense. And so why then does it sort of persist? Why does it hang around? Why are there still questions about it? Why are lots of central banks still buying it? And I would add, why does it have any value per ounce above and beyond just what it would get as a gain as, let's say, jewelry or industrial use? And at $2,000 an ounce, I would certainly argue that its value is above its jewelry or industrial uses. So there's still, in the marketplace, in the public's mind, there's still some element of moneyness to it. And so I suspect that if government allowed us, people would actually begin to use it in transactions. And that's not going to happen. That's a long way off. But I do think that you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to simply have an interest in gold to watch it, to keep track of it in the news as kind of a bellwether or a canary in the coal mine as to what's happening in the broader economy.
And, one interesting dynamic is sometimes the folks who really are talking up gold bugs, for lack of a better word, are kind of at odds at the Bitcoin maximalists, the Bitcoin maxis. Sure. And I find it more like, well, I just like how it shows economic theory to where you don't have to have this constantly expanding money supply. You could actually have an almost fixed supply in the case of gold or a fixed supply in the case of Bitcoin. And that's how my conversation with my grandfather started. We were talking about this run-up in price recently with Bitcoin after these Bitcoin ETFs were approved. What do you make of that world, especially cheerleaders of Bitcoin, say like a Michael Saylor type, that are really, I guess he's invested, at least he's putting his money where his mouth is in a sense, but what do you make of what they're putting out in the world?
Yeah, I have a real hard time because I straddle both those worlds.
Right.
And I find myself largely in agreement with both of them, except when it comes to the utter uselessness of the other side, So, look, I think money can exist independently of the central banking system and of the state treasuries we have all around the world. I think that's going to be tested in the coming years, especially as entitlement spending in the United States and deficit spending is scheduled to just absolutely explode if you listen to what the CBO says. And so, I think I'm cheering for both. I want some sort of medium of exchange that lets us, not have to worry about this constant devaluation, not have to go out and invest in the stock market and figure out what stock to buy just to stay ahead of inflation, to be able to save money in simple ways. I mean, these are fascinating things. And what I guess what bothers me, Joey, is that we thought we had all this figured out. We thought we understood this. We thought we got this. And, here we are basically reinventing the wheel in 2024. We're still talking about what money is. We're still talking about what credit and debt are. We're still talking about how money works, how it flows through the system, how credit is created. I mean, there's still fundamental disagreement, and you can see them on Twitter, as to how all of this actually works. And that strikes me as, we're not really advancing in terms of our economy when, serious PhD economists can't even agree on basic fundamentals of, what money is and how money works and how it ought to work. So I guess we live in interesting times, and I'm definitely very hopeful in cheering for Bitcoin.
Well, and, the story I shared with my grandfather last night, I learned from Seyfedin Ammous in his book, The Fiat Standard, where it's World War I, entire towns, folks, are not coming back. They're dying on the front, just chewing up in that meat grinder. It's supposed to be the war to end all wars, but, when you're sitting there still on the island there in Britain and you're seeing whole towns of men not coming back, you start to go, well, I don't really want to support this war. I don't want to buy any more war bonds. And then the Bank of England essentially broke with a several century old standard, first the pound standard of gold set by Isaac Newton of all folks. And they essentially printed up a bunch of money, handed it to bank associates, and they went and bought the bonds in the market. Yeah. And I think Keynes, this was just unveiled a few years ago, and this is why I think Seyfedin's book is genius, folks. Again, the fiat standard, the Bitcoin standard is also good. Keynes writes to the Bank of England and says, what a masterful manipulation. Now, that doesn't sound like some scientific thing on the up and up. It sounds like, no, these are war-hungry folks that wanted to chew up more folks to win this war effort. And so they did away with a pretty sound system that had lasted for a long time.
Yeah, they sure did. And it's not a coincidence that central banks, which, at least in the United States, in the early 1910s, ushered in a whole new era of two huge new world wars, both of which resulted in enormous amounts of deficit spending relative to the U.S. GDP. It was wildly out of proportion to any other era. Debt to U.S. GDP that was wildly out of proportion to any other era. So the idea that big global multinational multi-front wars simply wouldn't be possible without huge amounts of government debt, and that probably wouldn't be possible without central banks. So there's no, these things aren't coincidences. But even before central banks, and you can go back and look during the U.S. Civil War, the U.S. federal government ran enormous deficits. Wars are incredibly expensive, and that's one of the real reasons I think that we have our entire monetary system is to allow us to live beyond our means as a country, and a big part of that, of course, is defense spending.
Well, and yet I see a lot of folks in the Senate over the last few days, and I talked to Senator Britt yesterday. To her credit, she voted no on these recent supplementals. Tuberville, Tuberville, same way. Tuberville's really dogged, and he thinks the Ukraine war is just a huge waste of money. I'm very proud of him for taking that stand. But I heard all these other folks who claim to be Reagan conservatives standing up and talking about how they're carrying the mantle of Reagan by, standing down our foes. And hey, when we spend all this money, Alabama, you folks get a bunch of jobs. Isn't war good for prosperity, Jeff?
Yeah, I know. It's just, again, we're still arguing about what money is, and we're still arguing about the broken window fallacy, which Friedrich Bastiat figured out for us, decades ago. That war spending is good for the economy. Well, it's like, well, okay, what are we not buying as a result of buying all these, let's say, weapon systems that just happen to be built in Huntsville? So, I mean, certainly we can see what is very obvious and right in front of our face is that some government employee or some DOD
Oh, no.
Yep. I heard him talking.
We lost you again, Jeff.
Pay their mortgage. I apologize, guys. I'll have to call back.
Okay. Appreciate it, Jeff.
Bye.
Yeah, I guess something just came up there, but no, what he was going into it's a great story in economics, and Bastiat's a well-known, say during the Enlightenment period, French economist, and I think he's the one who also wrote a satirical thing that to protect candle makers, the legislature should pass a law to blot out the sun.
What's wrong with that, Joey?
Right, but the broken window fallacy is kind of like, well, look, this kid drives by this hooligan and he throws a brick through your window.
Right.
And people are like, how awful. And then one guy goes, no, but look how great. Now you got to go and pay somebody to fix the window. And so that's engaging in economic activity. And it's like, yeah, but you had a broken window, so you lost wealth.
Yes.
That money that went to the broken window to fix it could have been spent elsewhere. But people get into this mentality of, a hurricane just happened.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of economic activity to rebuild all these homes.
Yes, there will be.
I'm like,
with a cost.
Maybe so in the short term, but it would be better if the home was never knocked down, right?
Comes with a cost, man.
I think it's the old Ludwig von Mises quote that war brings the same sort of prosperity a pestilence or hurricane brings. And yet we still seem like, this is really the way to a golden paved society and road. And I think it's a scam. It's a racket.
It's a scam.
Absolutely a racket.
Yep, it's a scam.
It's one thing to say, and this is one thing I think I'll have to bring it with Arthur Herman, because I can be practical in the sense of, yeah, probably in this world you want a strong industrial base if you need to take on, say, enemies that might challenge you.
But
I don't think that's exactly what's going on here. I don't think it's as earnest and straightforward as that.
Right.
I think what's happened is, in fact, no, this is very much a game of pump a bunch of money into different districts all throughout the country. And what I worry about, and I think folks like Arthur Herman, others I've been researching lately, have pointed this out, that right now we're creating a bunch of weapons we don't need. Or we're creating stuff in the name of staying ahead of the cutting edge of technology.
Yeah.
That actually isn't all that useful compared to other things that might be. And part of the problem here is we don't have a clear objective in terms of like actually winning a war. The brilliant part of Freedom's Forge is that the brilliant folks in the private sector knew how to build things.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially the government and the military realized all we need to do is just tell the brilliant people what we need, give them a clear goal, and then get out of their way.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I don't know if we could still have that. Say we do have a massive war with China, God forbid. Right now, working with the U.S. government's more like, here's a bunch of forms to fill out. Here's how you comply with the regulations. Then we can talk about you being a partner of ours. That is not the way you have ingenuity, especially not in the military.
That's how you keep the old players in there. The ones that, hey, I know how the system works. I know how I make my money. And anybody with any fresh ideas out.
Yeah.
You put so much BS in their way, they go, you know what, it's not worth it. I can go make my money elsewhere.
Right. And it just makes you wonder, are we spending a bunch of money on things we really don't need? And we don't need to be wasting money in this day and age at this point. But there's a lot we're going to talk about with Arthur. In particular, this news of the Russians with the space assets they have now. You seen any more on that?
Not much, no. I just seen that they're talking about the weapon, but I think...
Where is that from, Fox?
Fox, yeah. I think it's more just fear. The more we talk about it, it's just...
I assume that already existed.
That was my surprise, too.
Space has already been weaponized quietly by any nation that has the capability.
And maybe that's the case that they've caught up.
So, for instance, a very clear goal for the military might be, hey, if you could have rockets that are reusable that you could send up into low Earth orbit, load something up there, bring them back down, the rocket isn't destroyed. It's almost like you're taking off and landing with a plane, but it's a rocket into low Earth orbit. Wouldn't that be very valuable and a big advantage? And you better believe, whoever ends up controlling orbit is going to be very, very powerful over everybody else on Earth. And isn't Elon Musk solving that problem for us?
Very much.
And yet he's being demonized.
Of course he's being demonized. But you know who didn't demonize him? Vladimir.
Right.
Yeah, that Elon Musk guy, y'all got a pretty sharp one in him.
Well, it's just what a time we live in. I would say the rot and corruption, it's not just like some evil SOB in the back room twirling with that mustache.
No, it's not. That's what I
It's
like it to
often
be.
earnest people who think they're doing good, who are serving a perverted, corrupt system with wrong incentives. And that affects so much across the board. And it's why I think you continue to see these corrupt wars pushed through by folks who claim the mantle of Reagan. You know, Ronald Reagan did say to his defense folks, here's a blank check. Increase military spending 6 to 7% of GDP.
Right.
There you go. Just build a bunch of weapons. He did open up the checkbook. Reagan did a lot of that. But did he use it? Not really, not much. No, there's the whole Iran-Iraq war and
there's a couple things.
Contras and
there's a couple things.
But not in the same way as the guys, and this is what's so awful, is I think Reagan was like, we need to build up to face down the Soviet Union, and he had the right idea. But I don't think Reagan had the idea of doing full-on invasions of, say, the Middle East.
No, I don't think so.
And those folks, H.W. Bush and the folks around him, were sitting there seeing this new military being built up going, I can't wait to use it.
Right.
And we did. And even the war that was the good war that we won, the first Desert Storm campaign, first Iraq war, no, that just set us up for Iraq War II. We continued to run no-fly zones.
That done that way on purpose, Joe?
No, actually. I think it was I think it was done because they realized they don't really understand what we're doing here. They kind of punted after going so far, and they'd kill a lot of Iraqis, for sure. There were still a lot of mistakes made.
Sure.
And they realized if we go full on to Baghdad, let's think this through. Let's just stop. Just stop for the moment.
But that's why you do war planning ahead of time.
And then we end up keeping our bases in Saudi. We end up keeping our bases all over the region. It's one of the reasons Osama bin Laden attacks.
Yep.
It's just like we keep sticking our nose all over the world, and we're surprised when Hornets sting us back. And yeah, I don't want Hornets stinging anybody.
Imagine all that money, though, if we just put it back here.
Right.
Imagine how much better life would be for everyone.
Oh,
That's what I don't get.
We got to hit a break here. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. Check to see who that is there. Maybe Jeff's calling back. But at Montgomery Men's Health, they can help you fellas out. Whether you're dealing with, ED, you know what it is, erectile dysfunction. You know what that is, gentlemen. Hope you're not suffering from it. But if you are, or low testosterone, it's nothing to deny. Don't be in denial. Don't put it off. Don't be embarrassed. It's not something to wait to get fixed either. There are a lot of guys who hate going to the doctor, but Montgomery Men's Health was created to take care of guys just like us. Because, I don't like going to the doctor.
No.
You that way too?
Yeah, men don't.
Yeah, men usually just don't want to do that. There are a lot of guys walking around who don't even know they're suffering from low T. They're feeling tired all the livelong day, like they're walking through life in a fog. They're lacking motivation, energy. They're getting weight gain, losing muscle mass. They even see a decrease in that libido. Well, what you need to do is go to Montgomery Men's Health. Knowing whether you have low testosterone is huge in combating some of these issues. And the providers at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup, plus a consultation for only $99. And if you do have low T, the good news is Montgomery Men's Health has low T treatments that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym.
Brother.
That's right, brother. A faster metabolism, better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns. You might even notice an increased sex drive.
Nothing wrong with that, Joe.
Indeed. You can actually book the same day that you call, gentlemen. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and hit your goals this year. Call 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back. Ritz, hold on. Come right to you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
I'm Republican Jacqueline Tomlinson. You've heard me here on the Greg Budell Show quite a bit over the years. Running for office is the last thing I thought I'd do, but when your community calls, you answer. With more than 15 years of family law experience, I've helped local families through some of their toughest times. And so, I'm asking for your vote in the Republican primary on Tuesday, March 5th for Circuit Judge.
Vote for my mommy!
Paid for by the Tomlinson Campaign, P.O. Box 821, Wetumpka, Alabama, 36092.
Don't settle for what Uncle Sam wants to give you. Get to Toyota of Montgomery today, where we'll double your tax refund. This month only, Toyota of Montgomery will double your money. If you have a $1,000 refund, we'll double it to $2,000. $2,000 is now $4,000. $5,000 is now up to $10,000. It gets even better because Toyota of Montgomery has incredible incentives on our new inventory, like the new 2024 Toyota Camry LE, now only $299 a month, or the best-selling new 2024 RAV4 LE. It's only $349 a month. That's double your refund money up to $10,000 plus save on new Toyotas and more for your trade. Get to Toyota of Montgomery online at toyotamontgomery.com. Part of the Sutherland Automotive Group. Dealer will match tax refund up to $5,000 for dealer discount off TSRP. Example, 2024 Toyota Sequoia Hybrid Capstone 4-wheel drive in-transit vehicle. TSRP 84,172. Camry MSRP 30,958. RAV4 MSRP 28,214. 12,000 miles per year for 39 months leases with 3638 due at signing. $0 security deposit with approved credit on sealed new Toyota purchases. Select new Toyota purchases plus taxes, tag, title, and $999. Offers end 2/29/2024.
Conservative Justice Sarah Stewart has the experience to lead Alabama's courts. As a tough-on-crime judge, Sarah Stewart presided over hundreds of cases, giving tough sentences to the worst criminals. Republicans can trust Justice Sarah Stewart to defend the Constitution and protect our families. On March 5th, vote conservative Republican Sarah Stewart for Alabama Chief Justice. Paid for by Sarah Stewart Campaign, 2029B, Airport Boulevard, Mobile, Alabama, 36606.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Ritz. Hadn't heard from him in a while. Hey, Ritz, how you doing?
How you lovely cheering there?
all right.
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. You're talking about all these things wrong with our country, and I don't know if do you ever look at that debt clock?
Yeah.
All this stuff we're talking about probably ain't going to matter pretty soon if we don't do something about this debt. I think we're on the verge of default, and I don't think we can sustain much more debt. I mean, it's just it's probably grew $1 billion just while I was talking.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And we're addicted to it, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's the best way to explain our behavior. I think there are a lot of folks, smart folks, who see this as a problem, but we just don't know how to get out of it without, dying from withdrawals.
Well, we used to could grow our way out of it.
Right.
We don't have anybody in power that could, round up an economy and get it fired up again. Hopefully Donald Trump can do that, but I just wonder if he could even save this country from the burden of the debt that's about ready to suffocate it.
Well, and it's going to take growing the private sector and unleashing, say, things like American energy, while also cutting, especially the federal government, down to size.
Yeah.
It's why I was such a Vivek guy, but I hope Trump has Vivek on his team and others like that with that point of view, and let's take a hatchet to D.C.
Well, we're going to need some brain power, I guarantee you.
Absolutely.
One other thing that bugs me, if you don't mind me bringing it up,
sure,
is this Chief Justice race. Am I allowed to voice my opinion about that?
Of course.
Sure.
Well, I just think that Brian Taylor's got a lot of nerve running for Chief Justice when, what has he done most of his life? He's been a political hack or a politician and, done very little in the law business, of which he really needs some experience if he wants to be the Chief Justice. And I don't know. I just think that's pretty brazen of him to think that he can jump up there and be the Chief Justice of our Supreme Court.
Well, it's been a while since I talked to him for the first time. I'm sure we'll have him back on the show. But I'd
like to tear into him. I mean, I'd like to talk to him. And another thing that bugs me too, here he is. I went and checked out his website, and they show him in all this military garb. I mean, what does a lawyer do out there in the theater of war? He's making out wills and stuff like that. He acts like he's been out there saving, democracy in Iraq with all that military garb on in that picture. It just kind of cracked me up. I'd like to know exactly what he did over there in Iraq or wherever that picture was taken.
Well, I will let you know when I'm going to have him on next, for sure. And also, these judicial elections are always so odd, because if you try to ask anything truly controversial, they won't answer because it could come up in front of the court. So it's like you got to, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's their get out of free jail card, I guess. To a hard question. Well, I really can't comment on that because I may have to hear something like that for me, and I don't want to express any opinions.
Yeah, well, but it's good hearing from you, Ritz. You surviving these days?
Oh, brother, if you only knew. Can I just tell you what happened to me last night? Or
sure.
I'll say early this morning, about 2 o'clock this morning. My son that lives in Chicago, he got some kind of a notification on his phone that woke him up. So we checked it out, and the notification was informing him that his older brother died.
Oh.
And it turns out somebody hacked my other son's Facebook account, and there's some kind of notification you can do. Somebody passes or something. Yeah, that's what they did. So
that's awful.
That's what I was doing at 2 o'clock this morning, trying not to have a heart attack.
I'm so sorry you went through that. That's a new day and age tech.
That's just low down.
Yeah, it is.
But other than that, everything's made for love.
There you go. Well, good hearing from you, Ritz. I got to run here.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Take care, Ritz.
272-9228 if you want to get your shots in before we have to close up shop. But this part of the program, Eddie?
Yeah.
Again, brought to you by Dylan Rings.
That's right, Joey.
And so, gentlemen, maybe you missed out on Valentine's Day and you're kind of in the doghouse.
Happens.
You should go buy Dylan Rings. They have diamond sapphire pieces on sale, 25% off. If you're interested, just search for Dylan Rings on Instagram.
Good idea.
So you can see those items from the comfort of, well, wherever you are, right there on your phone on the Instagram. But you can also get all sorts of things done there at Dylan Rings. And it could be ladies. You yourself just want to go out there. Like, forget the men.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go look good myself.
Skip the middleman.
Treat yourself.
Right.
So to speak. Or it could be you want to do some custom design work. Like, I encourage you to go by 119 Brown Springs Road, see the selection they have, see the sales they have. They have amazing pieces across the board. But if there's something you've really been thinking about that you just can't find, well, Josh Ryder can do the custom design. He really is amazing, right, Eddie? Like, you've seen his work.
I've seen his work. I see it every day. I see Sky.
Oh, Sky Mosley with the
beautiful
that
ring he had made. Yeah. Beautiful.
Josh Ryder has been doing this for a long time, folks. The man knows what he's doing. He can create beautiful jewelry. Of course, they can also do repairs, appraisals, and don't forget that great selection, especially with the sales they still have going on there. Stop by again, 119 Brown Springs Road. Say hi to Josh and Leslie Ryder, and be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. When you call the professionals at Clark with plumbing needs, you can count on quality service, flexible appointments, and affordable pricing. For more information, visit clarkcomfort.com. Better call Clark 277-2125. Alabama certification number 09098.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. We've been on cruise control for the last couple of days. For tonight, mostly cloudy, still dry, but not quite as cool. Overnight low temperature down to about 44. Tomorrow, not a bad day. High in the upper 60s. Clouds on the increase, but still dry Friday. Chance of some showers perhaps by late Friday night into Saturday, but that's sort of iffy. Sunshine returning on Sunday. Will be in the mid-50s on Saturday and low to mid-50s on Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At ASE Credit Union, financing your next adventure is easier than ever with rates as low as 5.25%. Apply online or visit your local branch today. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
If you want to save money on your toner, it's easier than your ABCs. Cartridge World's online store, the letter C, worldmontgomery.com. Save money on gas and your toner at Cartridge World's online location. Just go to the letter C, worldmontgomery.com, or call 819-8797.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tank water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Hold on to your butt.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey, he's Eddie. And we have Ray Bowles on the line.
Yeah,
hey,
do.
Ray. How you doing?
Good. Well, I'm a lot better than yesterday. Appreciate y'all doing the ad for me.
You sound better.
My voice. Yeah, my man. I went yesterday out to Birmingham. As soon as I came back, I went and got a steroid shot, took a nap. The only downside of that is I learned something last night. 12 o'clock, I just could not sleep.
Yep.
I got up, and for some stupid reason, I looked at my phone and started playing on TikTok. Thank you. Sorry about the back. And don't do that. That's where conspiracy nuts come from. You should have seen the stuff on all the conspiracy stuff. I went and bought one of those water bottles that purifies waters this morning.
And then you ready, Ray?
I'm ready. I told Angie, I said, she says, you going to where? I said, no, I'm going to go there to Bass Pro Shop and get me one of the bottles that purifies water. And she says, for what? I said, the world's ending. She told me I couldn't do that. She's going to take my phone next time I lock in the safe.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, that was a miserable night. But the upside to it is at least I was walking around on really pretty floors all night.
Well, there you
nice.
go.
I didn't do anything but pace last night, and it's 3:00 and I'm still wired. I'm just not built for steroids. That's why I'm so little. I never worked out and took steroids. Yeah.
Yeah.
They but hey, if y'all need a floor, call us 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement. So if you have to get a steroid shot, at least you'll have good floors to walk around.
There you go.
There you go. Again, that number, 285-8117. That's 285-8117. And be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles all roided up on the radio.
Maybe tomorrow I'll be back calm again, hopefully.
We'll see.
Appreciate
All
you.
right, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you, Ray.
Glad he's feeling better.
Me too. Man, I went to, last time I got sick like that, I went to one of the Doc in the Box and I just wanted a steroid shot because it fixes everything. This guy I got, the doctor that came in that day, Dr. O to the day, first thing he did said, "Hey, Eddie, I'm from California." And I went, "Yeah, what's that got to do with it?" He said, "I think you're going to want a steroid shot, and I don't believe in giving them." I said, "Well, I believe you give my GD money back then, and let's start this thing over." And they refused to give my copay. I did make a bit of a scene, and I left. Oh. So I learned, though. When I go to a Doc in a Box, I have to ask, is the steroid-friendly doctor here this day, or do you have that California nut who believes that I should just go home and sip some mint tea?
Mm.
You'll see, Joey. You'll get old. You'll start having to go to doctors. You'll get those disappointing messages.
By the way, as we've been, and I appreciate everybody subscribing today. Again, you can always subscribe to the show online. Watch us. If you're frustrated with our app, you can actually just listen on YouTube. It
listen
works
on
great.
YouTube.
Runs in the background. So you don't have to watch us, but you can. Because the videos, the clips we share have video components to it. You can watch along with us. Just Joey Clark Live on YouTube. Like and subscribe, and you can comment.
That's right.
If you want to have some fun.
Was throwing daggers today, buddy.
He was throwing. Let's go through some of these daggers. Because, I mean, this is how you develop thick skin. Hey, Joey, does your psyche get damaged knowing you will have to buy 3XL swim shorts?
Yeah.
He says, I
don't
bet
admit you, buddy.
I bet I think he's referring to me, has to wear an undershirt to catch his fat sweats.
Joey, you got an undershirt on now?
No, actually.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. Just check. I believe you, bro. Hey, I don't need to see all that. I believe you.
You don't want to see my...
No, I believe you. I'm good, Joey. I'm good.
I've been working on it.
I haven't been feeling good. Don't push me.
I was trying to make you feel better.
No, that's not helping.
Did anyone else catch the reference of Joey being done with alcohol? This may be the root cause of his massive weight gain.
Oh, wow. Well, everybody has a theory, don't they, Joey?
I just love those last 3 words, or 4 words. His massive weight gain. And then he says, I've been trying to help the man before time runs out. I send a visual on Messenger for the new look Joey needs. Oh, no. What did he send us?
I haven't seen it. I have not seen it.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, you might want to open that in private, Joey.
No, he says, I mentioned before you should get a cowboy hat. You can be married by springtime with one of these. So he superimposed. Oh, my God. Is there a way? We don't have enough time in the show.
Darn.
But I was looking to see, is there a way to bring this up on the stream? Because he superimposed a cowboy hat over me, and he has a point.
Oh, really?
What's a show that was really popular for a while? Yellowstone?
Yellowstone, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Did you need a longer coat and the cowboy hat? And you can pull that off.
And then get myself a crazy wife.
That'll come once you get the cowboy hat and the long coat.
Actually, I think I can pull this up real quick, folks. We're going to just put in subject howdy. And we'll pull it up on the live stream again.
Great.
Joey Clark Live on YouTube. You can always like and subscribe.
It's great having fans like this.
Yeah.
They get involved.
Considerate.
Right. And he cares about your health, too. Let's be honest.
Very, very considerate of him to be looking out for me here.
I thought so.
Let's pull up the photo. Yeah, I think that could work. I think this could work. What do you look at that?
Oh, good Lord. You'll get your crazy wife, that's for sure.
I think so.
That right there is the look of a man looking for a crazy wife. And she's probably going to have horses too.
Oh, no. Horse girls.
Right. You know. Then
Horse
you know.
ladies, yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, so did we learn anything today?
Don't eat leftover Mexican. I learned that, but that was
that was your mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do need to look into a cowboy hat then. Thank you, Romex Angler.
I can't knock you. That's a pretty good look there.
Appreciate him looking out in that way.
That's pretty good.
So we need to get out of here, but happy hour with Greg Vidal. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV